Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing tonight?
I feel great. This is going to be a huge show. We have a lot to talk about. It was just recently GCW Homecoming weekend, so I've taken a lot of drugs and I'm ready to roll. I'm just kidding. How you doing tonight? Pretty good?
I am doing good. We have air conditioning finally. So yes, I am finally been able to come back. Air conditioning unit killed me the last 2 weeks. So I don't want to steal your first note there, but I do want to also like kind of steal it. But thank you to everybody that did hop on while I was gone, and there was a lot of good conversation. I was watching it, and I was enjoying it. I didn't type in the chat, even though I was kind of like off to the side in the hotel room watching it, but it was fun. It was nice, and I like seeing all those voices. Hopefully I'm able to hop on one day with them and have some discussions, because I enjoyed a lot of the discussions you guys had. A lot of good perspectives on stuff too that I never thought about, and I enjoyed the last couple of weeks. And big thank you to everyone that did hop on with John while I was gone, and thank you guys. Thank you, great one. Yes, my room is cool, so thank you very much, everyone else out there that said wishes to my air conditioning unit or rips to my air conditioning unit.
So Rose said, yo, we are live. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of people in here tonight. A big chump said raid. So Effie just raided us not too long ago. Thank you so much for that. DJ Luda, what's up, good guys? Good to see
Thank
you
you,
back.
DJ.
Yeah, you were missed, man. There was a lot of people that were asking about you. So
That's a good start. I like it.
You're getting love.
I know, right? Wasn't not expecting any of that. So thank you guys very much. That was nice to see.
Yeah, you're important to the group. You know how that is. So yeah, you want to just you know what? I was going to say you want to jump in real quick, but I wanted to mention just something quick before we get started here. Just recently, everybody saw Sawyer Wreck had just come back. So the Matriarch of Mayhem and Safe Horizon, they're teaming up to do some good with a new limited edition collaboration t-shirt. 100% of the proceeds from the t-shirt sales after cost will go towards a donation to Safe Horizon. Basically, I looked into it and I wanted to make sure anything I was talking about made sense. And I looked here. It says they touch the lives of more than 250,000 children, adults, and families affected by crime and abuse. So you can help bridge the gap and ensure that victims of abuse and violence never have to go back. Please visit safehorizon.org to learn more about the incredible work they do and the countless numbers of lives that they had touched. I'll give you a phone number, 1-800-621-HOPE. That is 621-4673. I've never done that before. Yeah.
Those are cool, good videos, and I'm glad that it's the GCW's getting behind that cause and supporting it and promoting it as much as it did over the weekend. That was nice to see, and cool for Sawyer Rectus. Kind of let them use her likeness for that. It's a cool thing she's got going there.
Oh, indeed. All right, so you ready to start this crazy show we're about to have here?
All right, real fast. Hold on, I want to figure out what this is here. Yeah, what is WrestleConics, Tyson? I don't know what WrestleConics is. I never heard of that.
Yeah, help us out. And then Luda said, I got my shirt, so it's probably already ordered and done the darn thing. So thank you so much, DJ, for doing something out there for the good. Yeah, well,
that's a quick
see
turnaround.
What Tight
too.
Spot has to say. Yeah, a huge turnaround. Let's see. I'm sure he's typing like crazy right now.
Yeah, right.
So we'll get into that. I'm gonna count to 10. Tight Spot. No,
yeah, I never heard of WrestleConics before. I heard like WrestleCon and stuff, but like I never heard of WrestleConics. So I'm interested. Yeah, if there's like a little wrestling convention, I'll definitely might have to check it out.
Yeah, I'm looking right now to see what's going on with this thing. I'm looking. I don't know. I don't want to stop the show too much. I just
there we go. Yeah.
There we go.
Site. We'll check it out.
So there's a link in there if anybody wants to check that out. And there we go. And Frank, let's go ahead and get Frank in here because he's always on, and he had carried us through the last 2 weeks too. Thank you so much, Frank. I fell down the stairs 2 times today. Good God, Frank, what in the hell is wrong with you out there? You need to take care of yourself, buddy.
He's getting ready to take bumps from Justice now that he's back and throwing someone off the roof, off the stairs.
He's getting ready for Mance is what he's doing. He's getting ready for that next round. All right, so what do you say we run into GCW's Homecoming Night 1? What are you thinking? Sound good?
All right. Yes, sounds good. So GCW's Homecoming Night 1 came to us from the terminal at the Showboat with the cool little video package, too. I enjoyed those packages. I wonder, it was kind of ominous a little bit of some of these videos that have been playing lately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The videos like for the Hammerstein videos and now like these homecoming videos, it was feeling a little ominous here. Like I kind of wonder if talk is going away or GCW is going away from the terminal. I heard some talk about it on Brett's when he was on here. He kind of said like they have a home there, but these kind of feel like goodbye memories. Like that's what I was kind of waiting for, like a big announcement. I saw Brett in the ring during night one here. I thought that was like going to be the big announcement, but yeah, the video was awesome. It was a cool opening. I enjoyed the openings to the videos to the homecoming weekends in AC.
Yeah, those packages were fire all weekend. So great job to everyone involved in that. This will kind of go right there with that video thing. Is anyone else falling in love with GCW's intro that they have now? Their little video intro. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love it, man. So, yeah, we go right to the show here. I love the glow from the light and dark purple theme of night one. There were purple banners, TVs with purple homecoming graphics. Emma was dressed in a purple Razor Ramon shirt, and we had purple lighting. I feel the color really added something to the terminal, especially since we always talk about how that's just white. And then here we are with that beautiful purple glow. Quite a few mic issues throughout the night seem to happen on bigger shows. Whoever brought streamers, I feel that was appreciated. The UV and Extreme titles are missing at their biggest weekend of the year. I'll just kind of touch on that for a minute and say I really wish we could have had those here for that. At least one of them, especially since GCW put itself on the map with death matches. That doesn't mean they didn't have some great matches, but we'll get on to that one here. This was a 4-hour show, and the video packages made sure the show had proper dividers between the chapters. Emma welcomes us all home, and I'll say that is where our show started. Was there anything else you wanted to go to before we jump in here?
Just a bunch of people in the chat talking about Rena coming back. Yeah, Rena's coming back in October. That's a very good thing. Excited for that. Hopefully she's there for a while or back for a while here, like how she was prior to leaving. If not, as with the UV title, hopefully it does go on to somebody that is around more regular. So that way, Wrestling with Kindness. I don't know if I think he follows you and you follow him on Twitter. Was talking about, now with Rena coming back, with Drew Parker coming back, like the deathmatch scene with Ciclope and Miedo kind of splitting up, and possibly working some deathmatch singles matches. I'm excited now for what the deathmatch scene will look like, hopefully here in the near future in GCW.
Oh, it's going to be a beautiful thing. I think we're building towards something fun to watch. We have the Kirks in there, and I think that really added a lot.
Yeah, them too. Yep.
And then just seeing Marcus a little more. I don't think we're going to see him in death matches, but seeing Tremont also a little bit more here and there. And I think that's been a fantastic addition too. So we'll see what happens, but there is some American death matchers out there still alive and kicking. And I'm happy to see him over here at our place.
All right. Our first matchup of the evening was Zilla Fatu going against a returning Matthew Justice in AC at the Showboat.
All right. Straight to my notes. This is Matthew Justice's debut at the terminal. He came back to a huge welcome from the fans. He looks excited to be back at GCW. And I was wondering what he was going to jump off of. You know how that goes. This was a subject on the last show when Matt Baruso was on. He just came on for a short amount of time last week. And just letting you know, he will be back on at some point in the future. But we were talking and kind of stressing him a little about, hey, is he going to jump off of anything? You know, are we going to see the scissor lift and whatnot? So he did a really good job at keeping tight lit on all that stuff. So then our Tupac music hits, and out comes Zilla Fatu. He's a huge fan favorite. I feel like the air changes when his entrance music hits. He already has an aura about him. His attitude makes him cooler to cheer. I could see Zilla and Mance Warner meeting up sometime in the near future for the championship. I said that last week, and I said a year from now, I don't think he's going to last that long, and neither did half of the fans.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Take advantage of all these matchups while we can.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we've heard before, the temperature was high in the building and it was humid. Fans have waited a full year for these matchups, and it feels like a lot of pressure is finally getting released tonight. In the crowd, just off the top here, I wrote down, I saw Frank, Cass, Utica, Bobby Banks, Classy, Skittle, Dewey, and several others that we end up seeing each other damn near every week. MLJ with a shout out to USA Network and Rhonda Shears by saying later on he's going to be up all night. That's a shout out for all my older guys that remembers USA Up All Night on Saturday nights. I loved hearing our familiar Dave Prazak on the mic. He feels like the anchor on this big GCW boat. It didn't take long for Matthew Justice to grab a chair, grab his opponent, and go directly into the crowd to fight. Zilla ate some vicious chair shots. We had a door bridge built before minute 5. Zilla caught Justice in midair and hit something similar to a black hole slam. Emil was billing Justice at a very generous 6'3" and 240. Zilla was busted open first. He kept wiping blood out of his left eye. It seemed to be a little bit of a problem there. Justice bounces off the middle rope and hits a beautiful spear. Moments later, Justice is thrown out of the ring and into a waiting door bridge on the floor. A second spear by Justice sends Zilla through a propped up door in the corner. And finally, Zilla caught Justice in midair with a Samoan spike and covers for 3. Our winner here was Zilla Fought 2. What were your thoughts on this match?
What a way to opening Homecoming. Like, I can't believe that was the first match. I was like, oh, this match is going to set the tone here. I know that was probably, with a lot of other matches, that was one of my most ones I was looking forward to, just to see Justice back and having a crazy match with Zilla like they did. As you said, those chair shots were brutal. Like, some of those ones, I was like, man, I don't know how happy WWE would be seeing Zilla taking those shots at this time. But yeah, there were some vicious shots. Justice is back. It just feels right hearing walk at the show.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
the terminal was a little different, you can see, but the energy was there. Like, it just felt like Justice is back. And his little tweet, I think he made earlier today or whatever, I think I saw it today, kind of saying like, I'm back, GCW. I was happy with that. I hope he does work a lot more future dates. But yeah, this match was brutal and a crazy way to start the show off. And yeah, I didn't really care who won. I just want to see a crazy match and to set the tone for the night. That's definitely what Matthew Justice and Zilla Fatu definitely did. It was yeah, I was going to say too, that Samoan spike at the end was crazy. He's finding fun and innovative ways to hammer that in at the end as a finisher, and it's been fun to see.
And then again, for Justice here, where there were no big jumps, and that's okay because the guy just got back and he doesn't need to just come out the gate, dazzle, and then he don't know how to follow it up for the next 2 months. So
yep.
His name is chanted as he leaves the ring, though. So I have to say, just as you did here, welcome back, Matthew Justice. Anything else you can think of on this one before we move on?
Yeah, I thought Justice was gonna jump off something crazy too, just to have it be at Homecoming, like, hey, I'm back, effers. Like, top this, kind of like, like how he kind of does with those crazy spots. But nah, I just really liked it as an opening match, and I was excited and expecting a crazy fireworks of a night after this one.
Reed says, oh, is this the hopping chat? Reed was with us last week. So yeah, it was nice to see you here again, man. Alrighty here. So I'm going to go ahead and move on from that win. We cut backstage where we see Matt Baruso, who we also had seen, like I said, on this show last week. And he opens a large door that leads to the back of the terminal. And Blake enters in a vehicle that, if anybody can tell me what it was, please let me know.
I thought it was like I think they're like slingshots or something like that.
Oh, possibly.
The name is I've seen it before. Like, when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, he got one of those cars. They're always on the strip down here too.
Yeah, they look like fun. I don't know, in some areas. I was gonna say that one single wheel in the back doesn't make me feel too comfortable. I don't know.
Yeah, slingshot, right. Spider slingshot.
I'll see, and this is why we have awesome fans right there. We come back to the ring and Emil introduces our host of Homecoming, Matt Cardona. He's flanked by Broski, Jimmy, and SDL. A fan has a sign that says General Moron Cardona. And of course, Steph DeLander ends up taking the sign and ripping it up. Cardona points to a wall full of banners that we rarely see, each with an individual Homecoming participant on them, some with an entire team on one. For instance, Thrussie has their own banner. They're part blue, part purple to signify the colors of each day. So tomorrow, like today's purple, tomorrow's blue. It's just showing that they are performing on both shows. Cardona's suit for the night tugs at my heartstrings as he's wearing neon green and also like a neon yellow on a black suit. I'm a neon fanatic, total 80s kid. Hopefully he got the ass reinforced on this pair of pants was what I put there. Fans were shooting off confetti cannons in the crowd. I thought that was a nice touch. A lot of fuck you chants rolling in as Broski Jimmy asked the fans for respect, followed by shut the fuck up chants. SDL explains they said here that Deathmatch Royalty would run GCW, and they were right. Matt's on the mic, talks about Chelsea, of course. He says he's going to defeat Nick and Matt tomorrow night. He tells fans Nick is in jail. Excuse me. The mic is a distraction here. It's working so at times. Cardona says Jimmy will win the NXT championship. He had to be corrected on that. He finally snaps on the microphone. Mic number 2 enters. Matt goes to talk, and the goddamn thing isn't on yet, and the fans blew up in laughter. Anything you have to say about that one?
Yeah, the mic issues right away. I was like, oh, that's not a good sign for the rest of the night. And Matt loses finally when he lost his mind on it. I thought it would happen a couple times earlier, but yeah, it was a good typical promo, and kind of sucks what kind of he did foreshadow a little bit later what we will talk about. But yeah, I didn't mind it. It is what it is. It kind of got him on the card like how it was supposed to. Got Jimmy getting the heat and AC, and that AC heat for Jimmy is something else. I thought it's been getting worse over these other cities, but back home at AC, he definitely got it. I liked seeing him get most of the heat there during that promo. All right, our second matchup of the night was Sydney Akeem going against Tony Deppen.
All right, here. This match was much anticipated. I wanted to see two amazing wrestlers mesh styles, and they didn't disappoint. Eric Keem is becoming big at GCW. Fans love quality work, and he brings that. When it's time, I'd like to see him on a microphone. I feel that's all he's missing from going way over. Tony Deppen was out second. He has his usual scowl. It doesn't matter. We fucking love him. As always, he may be an asshole, but he's our asshole. Haven't said that in a while.
Right.
Fans sing his song when the music cuts, and we get Tony Deppen chants. He was missed, and that's 100%. Noticing ever since East West Express, Tony has been shredding his shirts into fringe. Tony shits on Akeem for being in a circus, says they're going to wrestle, and off we go. Deppen was picking his nose with Akeem's own fingers. We need to start betting on the over-under on how long until Tony uses snot in his offense. This was Tony's match for the first 5 to 6 minutes. This made Sydney's comeback even sweeter. Just wanted to acknowledge also the incredibly fun Rings of Saturn chants. Those are getting heard on TV. A huge exchange of punches between both men. Deppen caught Sydney's double handspring and turned it into a rear naked choke. Close to a chicken wing is what it looked like. Sydney hits a tope like a missile being launched. Tony answers with his own tope. Sydney then hits a surprise final act for the win here. Again, yeah, our winner is Sydney Akeem. I put down here at the end 2 solid matches back to back with wrestlers all fans love, and I put this is the vibe.
Yep. I was one of those people that was looking forward to this match. Just I wanted to see how Sydney Akeem would do with someone stylistically different than him that we've kind of haven't seen in GCW. So this was a nice change of pace for him, and I think he fit that role right well. Tony Deppen is a perfect opponent for that to happen and kind of get showcased. Sydney could do the groundwork and all this stuff that he hasn't really shown in GCW. But I thought this was a good match for Sydney, and once again, Tony's just always could count on Tony doing a quality match and making the opponent look good. And that's why I think he's so valuable as a wrestler, not just even in GCW, but other places as well. So I was happy to see him back and taking the L, and that surprise final act, the one surprised me actually pretty good. I enjoyed it very much.
Rose, his music is the only good. See, now he's bought into the heel work there. And of course, Reed comes to the rescue. I will accept no Deppen slander. Yeah, that is funny right there. Yeah, Sydney Akeem, no bad matches. Period.
Yep.
Haven't seen one yet. And yeah, this is just what happens when you kick the training wheels off and let them fly a little bit.
Yeah, and he's been awesome, and that was a good to see him switch it up stylistically, I think, in my opinion. All right, match number 3 was Brandon Kirk and Casey Catal going against Los Macizos.
Okay, which you want to go
No,
Go
I'll
first?
let
You
you
want
go
me to go
first.
first here?
I'll
Perfect.
gather myself here and try to hold back the tears.
Me too, brother. Me too. All right. So I was worried about Los Macisos walking into this match after their teased infighting and potential split. The Kirks aren't a team that you want to fight without a unified front. Los Macisos were out first with custom mask. Mieto's in a modified clown mask and Ciclope's in a black all-seeing eye mask. The Kirks come out and Casey got a huge ovation from the fans. And Kirk's like, hey, what the hell is going on here? You can even see Casey pointing at Brandon like, Brandon. Hey, it's just how it is. But she's back, and they put in work that weekend, something crazy. The match starts with a show of respect. Of course, that's going to nullify any of the fans having any issues towards both faces. Ciclope fighting in his hoodie minutes into the match. Meanwhile, I can't wear a hoodie in freezing temperatures without breaking into a sweat. A barbed wire door is set in the corner. Mieto kicks both Brandon Kirk and Ciclope into that door. Ciclope got the worst of it as it was his body going through that door. Brandon accidentally hit Casey, and Macisos gang up on him while he's down one member. She gets back in long enough for Los Macisos to hit her and Brandon with double dragon screw leg whips. Macisos start bringing doors in the ring as fans chant, "We want light tubes." Door bridges have been constructed. Another door has been laid across the middle ropes in the corner. Brandon and Ciclope stand on the one that's laying on the ropes there, and Ciclope eats a nasty DDT that breaks that door. Casey gets put on Ciclope's shoulders, and Mieto jumps off the corner to hit the Doomsday device through a door bridge. Brandon makes the save for 2. He grabs a ton of chairs from underneath the ring and hits a few nasty chair shots on Ciclope. He sets up some chairs as Psycho Driver chants start to ring out in the crowd. Casey goes for a Hurricane Rana on Mieto. She gets caught and eats a huge power bomb directly onto a barbed wire cage. As Mieto is still standing outside on the apron, Ciclope goes to hit Brandon and accidentally knocks his brother Mieto onto the barbed wire cage. Brandon picks up Ciclope on top of the chairs and hits the Psycho Driver through the chairs for the win. Our winners here were Brandon Kirk and Casey Catal. What do you think about this match?
I was shocked on the ending. Obviously, as Macisos going into a title match, picking up a loss was shocking to me. It was different booking. Like I was thinking maybe like you would save like kind of like maybe use this as the match to get them back on the same page and kind of like swerve the fans of, hey, like no, they're good, and then the next night really turning. But with the kind of turn here tonight and then another turn the next night, I was like, that was overkill, man. Mieto's got some beef with Ciclope. Yeah, I was happy though that they could like Kirk's won. I actually was kind of hoping maybe they make that a triple threat now title match going into night 2. But my cat just attacked my son over here. But yeah, I was shocked. I did not expect Los Macisos to pick up an L there after going into their title match the next night, and I was kind of floored by it. And I was talking myself into the booking of it, and I see it, but it's just different. It's something I don't mind seeing, a little different way of booking tag team split up going into a title match. It was just different for me.
And then I'll start with Frank here. Macisos were selling merch together pre-show Sunday, but split their gimmick tables pro-show. That's great there. To be able to see the Psycho Driver through the chairs live was awesome. Yeah, we do have a lot of people that were live at the show here, including Luda, Frank. I can't remember if Kev was there or not. Great one. Maybe this is the setup for the Kirks as a contending team for Violence is Forever. Would not be surprised. Yeah, mucho problem, Los Macisos. Kev says, no matter how much I try, I cannot like Brandon Kirk. How you doing tonight, Kevin? Rose, oh my God, Frank, I think the same. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Here we go. Yeah, Rose was there front row all weekend. Hell yeah, good for you. What a good weekend to be front row too. And then the other thing here, DJ Lewis said that and the barbed wire contraption brought out was crazy. All right. So I did write a couple other things after this match. I put that the GCW fans obviously love the Kirks. The Macisos go for a hug and Mieto decides to say no. And he left his brother in the ring alone. And I swear to you, I was starting to catch feelings. Grown man shit. I was like, man, really? It's my brother. I had
to bust out my Ciclope shirt tonight, man. Had to show love for Ciclope tonight.
Man, I can't believe that. But yeah, it was a really well done match. It was a good tease. It furthered along any storylines that were there. Brandon Kirk and Casey Catal looked strong, like I think they were supposed to look in this match. Everybody did their job and it came off strong. Here we go again with the third match in a row that ended up delivering.
Yes, with a bunch of fan favorites as well on this one.
Yes.
All right, our fourth matchup was Big F and Joe going against John Wayne Murdoch. Sorry, I almost forgot his last name.
I love the mic cracking and the fans finishing Emil's words. I thought that was great because he was going, and this is a fucking, and the people went, King Death Match. Yep. And I don't know. I think that was just a togetherness moment that was kind of heartfelt there. This match would be my choice for the Ultraviolent Championship. I'm not going to lie. If there was one floating around in the Americas, this would have been it right here. Welcome back to GCW Big Fucking Joe. Last seen at COS 3 versus Matt Tremont. Less than a month ago, he lost the TNT Extreme Division Championship for 406 days. Joe also gets a huge reaction here. In my mind, he's my UV champ, if possible. If we can send that championship across the ocean, I don't mind sending it there. He's one of my favorites. He's carrying a branch of a tree to the ring, and he's proud of it like a 6-year-old. And I'm like, why not? I have you over. You're over here laughing. I was just
laughing at that was exactly what I was laughing at right there. What's that?
Oh, this is going to be a beautiful night here. Okay, so on the other end of the spectrum is another one of my favorites, John Wayne Murdoch. There are Duke chants before he enters through those curtains. The TOS 9 winner is primed for this match. He's carrying a weed whacker and a sick smile. Between these two guys, I'm wondering, did someone rob a landscaper? So do you have anything you want to mention about this one before I go into it? Because I promised some play-by-play and I have some death match play-by-play here.
No, I just going in this match, I was happy. I am a big fan also of Big F and Joe. So anytime we get to see him, I'm always happy. And I think the reason I like him, as Reed just said, and as you mentioned, the branch, he just kind of always finds new weapons, and like he's very innovative. And I think that's what I really love seeing in the deathmatch scene right now, is in some innovation. And Big F and Joe is definitely doing it and having fun with it. So I enjoyed this match for sure.
Righty here. So everybody sit back and relax. I haven't done this, I think, on Game Changer Weekly. We're going to do a good old-fashioned GCW Plant podcast death match minute by minute rundown. I wanted to do this because we haven't done it in a while. There's a lot of people who like these, so kind of relax here. I've got a 6-minute and 20-second death match I want to go over with you. So in the opening minute, Joe is beating on Murdoch with the branch. He breaks a tube over Murdoch's head. A bundle is then placed on Murdoch in the corner, and Joe throws himself into Murdoch. Joe stands over Murdoch in the corner and smashes 10 tubes over his head. Minute 2, tube number 10 hits. A huge bundle is picked up by Joe. Murdoch kicks it into his chest. John kicks a bundle into Joe's back. He's carving Joe's forehead. On to minute 3. And the ass... we have an ass light tube. I don't have a better way to put it, but you get you sick fuck chance out of that. Joe eats another bundle to the head, and a pane of glass is now set up in the corner. Both guys are sliced up. Minute 4, Murdoch is blasting tubes across Joe's back. Murdoch then hit a Russian leg sweep into the tubes on Joe. Big fucking Joe chants are going throughout the crowd. Both are stripping off each other's shirts. Minute 5, tubes are being swung on each other like two men throwing fists. Joe is in tremendous shape. He's eating a ton of tubes, then a body slam into a whole box of tubes. Murdoch kicks out at 2 to GCW chants. And so this is into minute 6 until the end. Another pane of glass goes in a corner. Murdoch sends Joe face first through the glass, and he still kicks out at 2. It's nasty. Both are covered in blood. Murdoch goes to kick Joe in the nuts. He fakes it and flip off the crowd who are booing. As he turns, Joe spears Murdoch through the second pane of glass, and then Joe grabs the weed whacker and he hits John Wayne Murdoch with it like 3 separate times in the gut. John Wayne Murdoch falls over and Joe covers for 3. So our winner in this one was Big fucking Joe. I wrote down as my first note on the after here that this is the best 6 minutes of death match that you could imagine.
And that's one thing I think that's another reason I like the Big Joe matches. Like, they're short, but they're just nonstop violence going on and bloodbath. So I did appreciate it. I thought it was a good match. I didn't even put together the switch and the weed whacker there. I didn't like someone DJ Luda pulled it out there. I'm like, oh man, I didn't even think about that. Like John Wayne's ready for that the switch and cut it off there. She should have done that. But I liked it. It was a good death match. It was finally fun to see some death match back in GCW. And at the terminal, I was expecting a lot of it, and this was a good start of it.
Yeah, DJ Luda here. I called the grab of the nuts by Big F and Joe, the Iron Claw. Let's see here. What else did I write about this one? I have that both killed it. Joe got a huge crowd reaction when entering and leaving the ring. I just put again for the 19th time. I love Big fucking Joe. If we were to have our UV title locked up overseas, and again, this is my note here, why not throw it on Big Joe? And again, that's just a matter of opinion there. Who knows what's going to happen with it? But just recently, I think in the last couple hours, it's been announced that Rina Yamashita has 6 dates in the United States for GCW coming up. So there is promise here. I believe most of the dates were in October. Don't quote me there. Definitely check it out on GCW's Twitter to see how much I'm full of shit or not.
Yeah, I think I saw October too as the big comeback there. All right, match number 5 was the JCW World Champion Masha Slamovich not defending the title, which kind of got under my nerves a little bit, going against Galeno Del Mal.
All right, so Galeno Del Mal was out first to a solid crowd reaction. Another one of my favorites. The guy has it all physically. Masha was out next, always has the crowd loving her. No surprise there. We also got a surprising handshake in the beginning. I didn't really expect that. I thought Galeno was just going to go full heel here. Galeno easily overpowered her from the opening bell. This is pro wrestling and it's entertainment. But if he made contact with her, there were a couple times I saw it. If he made contact with her, she'd just, you know what I mean? But we're having a good time. And I'm noticing Galeno's keeping up with Masha's pace, but he's also very engaging with the crowd. I'm a big fan of that. And he's doing that in Spanish, by the way. Galeno caught Masha mid-tope. It was a nice show of strength. Masha was selling everything really well. The ass beating that she was taking looked really good. Galeno was running the ropes mid-match. His size with a splash at the end was impressive. Emil spends time foreshadowing there's people in the back. I'm assuming he's talking about wrestlers. Masha starts to rally around minute 7 or 8. Galeno asking for Masha to deliver stiff kicks to his chest. He was barely phased. Broski Jimmy comes out to interfere. He gets leveled by Galeno on accident. Masha chokes out Delano, and our winner here, I said Galeno. Our winner here was Masha Slamovich. This was a 10-minute match. I wrote down here, I don't think this match needed more than 8 minutes. There was a little bit of dead time here and there. But that's just me being picky. And overall, if Masha was going to win, I don't see why this wouldn't have been a title defense. And over such a large or greater opponent in this situation, that would have been a feather in her championship cap.
1000% agree there. That was my main takeaway too. That's why I said I was a little disappointed. If she's going to get the victory there, why not push her and further elevate her while beating somebody like with the size of Galeno Del Mal? Like Galeno Del Mal's been impressive, but like that win for Masha would have been even more impressive, I think. And yeah, that was a great point. But yeah, that's what I was kind of been disappointed with the title bookings and what matches, title matches and not, and that would be one of them there. But it was a good match. I think it was another great showcase for Galeno Del Mal, and another good match from Masha. Masha continues to kill it. But as the JCW champion, I was kind of hoping for it to be a defense as well. I get it. You'd want to save it for Jimmy Lloyd, but if, like you said, if she's going to win, just give her another more impressive win over someone like that. So that way, when she beats Jimmy Lloyd later, it's just another feather in her cap there.
Yeah, that opponent would have been her largest opponent for her title defense ever. Would have been a good one there. I wanted to also write here, we have huge face and heel potential in Galeno, and I feel like we need to pick a side with him. If it's good, then he doesn't need this match beating on Masha. If he's bad, then he did a damn good job showing dominance until the end. Either way, we have a monster here, and I hope we do something special with him while we have him, because he is superstar material. We will not have him forever. Before I move on, was there anything else you can think of to mention in this one?
I was kind of having the same similar thought. Like it looks like they're obviously booking Galeno as a heel, but some of his actions in the ring and kind of like how he's enjoying the moment and stuff doesn't feel
Fan
heelish. And
interaction.
exactly, it kind of feels like he's trying to be face it. And I was kind of like, I think he's more obviously as a heel too, but I would like to see a little bit more further heelish just to kind of make him that big monster that you were saying to go up against somebody like Pero size now and some of the other giants in GCW and Haas's that they have.
I'm right there with Reed. I really thought non-title meant Galeno would get the win, which maybe I thought was the point here. So
it's a further push him even.
Darren jumps on here. Good to see you, Darren. I wish GCW would do more long-term feuds with the women. So I was going to talk about that on night 2, where I said that the Megan Bain and Masha Slamovich should have had weeks more build to go into what they had, because we were looking at 2 unstoppable monsters, and it was only a matter of time before they were going to clash. And I think a storyline to go along with that would have really increased the importance. And it would just been a matter of, 2 minutes here this week, 2 minutes there that week, could have given us something. But the match still delivered. It's just give me a story and pull in my emotions. Make me cry, make me cheer.
I definitely agree with that. Like, yeah, you're on point tonight. I agree with everything there. If that match was actually, like, as Darren said, so good, like it could, like, I do hope it kind of does turn into a feud, but as the great one says there, seems like they're building towards Megan and SDL, not Megan and Masha, which is going to be interesting. I think the level of wrestling there is going to take a dramatic hit, but especially when SDL doesn't wrestle as often as Masha does, that doesn't make sense either. I would definitely prefer to see Megan having some sort of feud or story going with Masha at this point more than SDL.
And just a little side note, Jimmy snuck in behind here at the end and attacked Masha. He grabbed her belt and said, "This is mine." And then he ran off. He's just softening her up for another night. So just being a pain in the ass, just being broski Jimmy.
All right, next match of the evening was a 6-person tag match as the one called Manders teamed with Dark Sheik and Effie going against the Bollywood Boys and Raj Desi.
Okay, a drummer comes out and starts drumming with the Bollywood Boys music. I already like the music. Live drumming made it even better. Then Bollywood come out and they dance around the ring. They always have a fun atmosphere on their entrances. GCW fans got called Whisker Biscuits, which I thought was a nice old school callback to the old vagina. It's a mind twist because we love their entrance. Okay.
Never heard that before, Mela.
Really? Oh no. My God. My East Coasters.
Like, what?
My East Coasters. Come on, man. The old Whisker Biscuit. Anyway, I'm going to go back to Bollywood just for a minute here. I wanted to say it's a mind twist because we love their entrance and we're all having fun. Then we're supposed to boo them in the match. So let's be honest here with the entrance and their personalities. I think Bollywood is hard to boo.
I thought we were going to get a different entrance and vibe with the music too, being as a heel now with Raj Desi, like certified heel work. I thought I was expecting different music too.
I'm not going to complain though. I'll tell you what, those guys deliver. I'll stick by it ever since we saw them live. Man, they lit up LA and I was like, okay, these guys definitely have something there. Mm-hmm. All right. So Bollywood announces Maharaja for his entrance. He is good for independent wrestling is what I wrote here. Video opens backstage with Effie walking with 2 ski masks. Manders and Dark Sheik put them on. Manders puts his cowboy hat on over the mask and Effie laughs and they leave for the ring. We flash back to the fans and a bunch of us have masks on. Emil has one on. I would have died if Perch had one on.
That would have been great. That would have been.
I give him credit, though. It was a unique way to do things. And whoever came up with it, it was different.
Awesome I like the callback. I didn't catch it live at first. Like I stepped out for a minute. And then like when I saw them wearing masks, I'm like, what the hell? And then they were talking about like the bringing back of when the masked men jumped finale. And I was like, yeah, that's a very cool way, as you said, to bring it all back and tie it together going into this match. And I did like the Manders putting the cowboy hat on the mask too. I was like, really, Manders? You really got to go full cowboy even now?
Okay, so Frank says that they handed out masks at the entrance. When I was watching that live, I was wondering how they did that. Like, $1 a piece, $2 a piece. Look, we're doing a thing where masks are going to be on, but Rose said, yeah, they gave us the masks.
That was cool. That was a cool little moment too, of that seeing the fans and they're showing the who's back they really have. I thought that was a cool little touch for sure.
So then, yeah, Bollywood and Raj came out. Then here comes Manders, Sheik, and Effie. They're on their way to the ring. Effie is in a pink mask. I'm not a fan of the non-Elton version of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, but I'm sure there's a reason for that. Maybe it's best to pick a new song, and it hurts to say that because I love it a lot. But when you hear a knockoff, sometimes it sounds very cheap, knockoffish. The opening bell, and it's a 6-person brawl from the beginning. Effie looks like he ate a big Maharaja boot early in the match. There was a lot of chaos going on in this thing. There was a 1-minute rally where Effie was destroying Bollywood. Raj comes in to break up the pin. Bollywood brings a door bridge. Raj puts Effie through it. Manders and Sheik saved the pin. Bollywood was showing off their Heart Dungeon training with double sharpshooters. I thought that was pretty cool. We had 3MB chants in the crowd, and Raj answered by playing the guitar on the chair. He then brings out a real table, and I realized we got them good props this weekend. We got tables. Manders power slam Raj through the table was impressive, looked very good with 2 big bodies. Effie pulls off a sack rider for the win. So our winners here was one called Manders and Thrussi. What are you thinking about this one?
I thought it was a good match. Bollywood and Raj definitely clicked as a team, which I fully expected. And they had a GCW match, and this was I thought this was good. I was expecting a little bit more, maybe kind of circumstances to happen and a little bit more drama, but for what it was, I thought it was a good way to kind of close that door for Effie as another one opened up the next night. And I was glad to see him finally get on the winning end of one of these big name feuds with one of these ex WWE people. So that one really did make me happy that he got this win at Homecoming over a big name like Raj Desi. So that was kind of like my main takeaway point for that one.
And I'm just going to mention what Great One had just said earlier here. I can't help but notice that Ali was originally scheduled for this match.
See, I feel like when they announced that match in whatever city, I forgot, like Cardona, like they said the wrong names, like from the get-go. Like, and then like I think later on in the show when they put up the graphic, and then all of a sudden, like it was already a different graphic from the names that Cardona said. Like, I just thought like the whole thing of who was going to be on Effie's team was kind of weird and like not cohesive at all throughout this entire time. So yeah, I didn't fully notice that Ali was announced. Like I said, I just kind of assumed that it was all just kind of a mix of like, hey, hopefully we have Ali, hopefully we have this person, and if not, this is what the backup is. But when they first announced it, it came out 2 different ways right then and there that night. So yeah, okay, she was at a concert, good. So I was gonna say hopefully Ali's okay too, nothing wrong with her. But if she was at a concert, hopefully she had fun.
So I wrote here as my last note on this match, I feel like this should have been an Effie versus Maharaj single match with more build. These are 2 big boys going at it, and I felt like everyone in the match outside of those 2 were side characters. And I'm just being fair about that. Maybe at some point there's a build to do that, but with somebody the size of the Maharaj, you're going to have some big opponents. And I don't want to blow Effie on a 6-person tag team. I'd like to, I'm not blowing anybody, but I wanted to, it's terrible. But yeah, I would have put him in a singles match 100% on this one, especially on such a big show. And I would have had the blow off with all 6 of them. Yeah. So
I would have done this match. Actually, I think I would have done this match in Cleveland to set up for the one-on-one with Effie and Raj at Homecoming. That's just like a big spotlight match. As you said, I think that should have been the one-on-one, especially for a Homecoming weekend.
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting match. Yeah. Like I said, I thought Ali was going to be there, but as you were saying, there's a little confusion here and there. So you never know. I just wanted to put out here that right after this match was over, we went into another video style package. It was a Danhausen promo where he says he'll annihilate Ultramantis Black. I just want to say more of that. This is what he's good at, our promos and building. He's the sizzle before the steak. And everybody knows, especially in WWE, the sizzle is what sells. And then the steak is just in the tail end there. And Danhausen gives us that in handfuls if we just again, kick off the training wheels and let him do it. So he had a chance to shine here, and he absolutely did. It was worth at least making a little note saying, please, more of this, because this is, again, where he shines.
Yes. And that promo led us into the next match, which was Ultra Mantis Black going against Danhausen in the dubbed Nightmare match instead of Dream match. I really liked how they did kind of sit there and promote that a little bit more throughout on commentary, especially the Nightmare match instead of Dream match. So I thought that was a cool little piece from commentary that night.
So the first thing I noticed here was Ultra Mantis was out first. That's kind of interesting. You would figure the veteran would come out last. Also, if you look at him, he is in amazing shape for 49. He's got like a 20-some-year-old's body at 49.
I didn't expect 49.
His body was so good, and I knew he'd been around so long. I literally looked up his age and went, how in the hell is he able to look like, dude? Good eating, good life, good discipline, man. Good for him. Danhausen was out second. I was hoping to see evil Danhausen because, again, I love that version a lot. Manus grabs his bells and staff, hypnotizes Danhausen. Danhausen, of course, pretends he's hypnotized. You can tell because he was winking at the crowd. Danhausen then curses Manus, and that gives us holy shit chance. Manus was looking to throw a chair at Dan while he hides, and I wrote here, this is entertainment. Danhausen kicks the ropes, got booed. He was surprised and said, come on, I'm evil. Now, that is correct, Danhausen. Evil characters get booed. Did you want cheered? I don't know if you noticed that or not. Yeah, so he finally got booed, and the minute Danhausen get boos, he goes, what? I'm evil. I'm like, well, no shit, you're evil. Evil gets booed. He must not have caught that, though. And Danhausen ended up picking up the win here. Very evil. And yes, he's very nice, so I'll give him that much. But yeah, Danhausen here picked up the win. I put that Mantis looked stunned, and I also wrote that this was more wrestling than I expected. Those two are equally weird in the ring. I almost think they would make a good team. And I'm going to throw it back to you. What do you think about this crazy match?
I'm going to go right here with what kind of the chat saying, because that was my feeling too. I would kind of agree. I thought this was going to be more of a comedy match and some bunch of tomfoolery going on in the ring and curses being thrown left and right. And then as it got down to maybe like 2, 3, 4 minutes of really hardcore wrestling just to kind of showcase their stuff and then get back to kind of the ending with the more comedy stuff. But I don't think the match was boring. It went a different route than I expected. They kind of went more wrestling related instead of the comedy, but I didn't mind it. I wouldn't mind seeing it kind of again in a creepy, spooky setting, or as you said, to have them as a tag team. I think that would work out very well for them too as well.
And this match is splitting the listeners in here, which is very interesting. I feel like Danhausen's presentation has evolved since leaving AEW, but his ring work has basically stayed the same minus the tequila spot. It's weird for me. And again, here we go. Again, we're all kind of across the board. I do not agree to the boring. I did like the teeth and the stuff at the beginning as well. So yeah, this is one of those, you know what, comedy matches I've noticed seem to split fans a lot. I don't know why or how, but it just seems to happen. And here we are again, where it just seems like historically fans are, it comes down to the personality of the person more than it does the match, I think sometimes.
I think it comes out like Danhausen, like he's just kind of divisive. Like you either really love him or he's very nice to you, or he's very evil. So I think he's out there. I don't know. I feel like I've seen a little bit more in-ring work from him than I did see in AEW. I think when he like got serious in AEW is what we're seeing now. So I kind of see that point where we did see it a little bit before, but I don't know. I still think he has a little bit more to show us here, and I'm excited for what we've seen of him in GCW. And I still think there's other stuff and matches out there for him, and I can't wait to see what kind of other stuff he showcases while he's still working with GCW.
100% agreed.
All right, our next match was the Megacyst Open Challenge.
Oh my goodness, what a crazy bunch of fun this was. All right, so Bane was out first. Again, as always, great reception from the crowd. And then we're wondering who is going to come out to answer this challenge. I mean, it's Megan Bane. Viperous came out to answer the challenge, which was absolutely surprising here. It was good seeing her back again, though. This is one of Hood Slam's finest. Out comes a huge surprise next. The matriarch of mayhem, Sawyerek, is back in a GCW ring. Fans are going crazy. She looks great in that ring. Welcome back chants was bouncing off the walls. This is now a triple threat. So everybody gets set, and we're like, all right, this is what it's going to be. Everybody's riding a high right now, seeing Sawyer back. Then the TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace, enters the match, and it's now a 4-way. And let me tell you, when she got announced and came, fans went crazy. All right, into the match here. There was a test of strength that ends in Jordynne getting double choke slam by Bane and Sawyer. Sawyer versus Bane is my new one-on-one must-see match. They chop the shit out of each other. I feel this is an important match in the future. Bane had 2 people on her shoulders and hit the fall-away slam on both. This is obviously Bane's match and Bane's push. I'm realizing Viper's and Jordynne are the same height. Found that kind of interesting. Sawyer pulled Viper's by her hair and she spun on the ground like she was breakdancing. Viper's on Bane's shoulders, Sawyer on Jordynne's shoulders, and they're exchanging punches with GCW chants in the crowd. Sawyer has Jordynne's belt, hit her in the head with it. Sawyer then decides, well, she's going to try the belt on. She puts it on, and Viper's with a nasty Saito suplex. Sawyer carries Jordynne out of the match, which leaves Megan with Viper's in. Megan then hits a tombstone pile driver on Viper's for 3. Our winner here was Megan Bane. I put that this was, number one, much better than a singles match, and I put that every minute was good and something different. Surprising entrance and a Sawyerek return put this match over the top for me. What are you thinking on this one, man?
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing when I first saw Vipers. I was like, okay, that's not the big surprise I was thinking of, but I agree with you. It's cool to see her back. She did do a really good job with Sheik in LA. And then the Sawyerek entrance and pop was outstanding. Like, I knew she'd get a huge pop, but not that big. That was incredible to see and good for her. I really, really enjoyed seeing that. And then, yeah, the last build up to the final one, Jordynne Grace, like, it just the build up to Vipers, to Sawyer, to Jordynne Grace. I loved that build up there as a fan who loves surprises and the big pops and everything. That was a very cool, and as what's his name, Reed Cooper said, like, unpredictable. Like, to build that matchup from a Megasys Open Challenge to what it turned into was awesome. I thought it was cool of Vipers to be able to be in the ring with those 3 and get the shine off of those 3 and get the rub off of them for being in working in the ring with them. And I just thought they all did great work in the ring. It's cool always to see Jordynne back in a GCW ring. And I just thought they did have like a lot of cool spots in this match, and I thought it was very well booked and delivered. Like, this was a really, really good, and like, just for the whole match and segment and the entrances, that was awesome. That was a Homecoming. That was cool. Just pops, pops, pops. And that's what I think Homecoming should be. And I loved it. It was awesome. And I'm glad that all 4 of them got that kind of moment. And it was just cool to see that happen in a GCW ring. I was kind of, as some people were saying, like, yeah, she was the mystery at VXS. I was kind of hoping, like, oh, well, that would be a cool match to see in GCW, but since it just happened, we won't see it. And then boom, being able to see a little taste of it in GCW was very cool to see. So I was excited for everyone involved, and that was a really good match, and I enjoyed it. It was good, perfect spot right in the middle of the card too, to kind of bring the fans back in for the end of the show, I think.
So this next little piece I'm talking about seems to be happening quite a bit. We got a video showing moments from Hammerstein. I've noticed that the last couple weeks, maybe, we've been getting these little teases about Hammerstein. So I did like the idea that they're teasing this now, and I hope this comes into something important. So then I want to talk about the next little happening that we had here. We come back to the ring from the Hammerstein video package, and Brett comes out. So I'm going to go ahead and just quote exactly what he said, and we'll go from there. So he says, all right, well, I don't come out here very often. So you know that when I do, that means I have something important to say. And tonight, I wish I had something positive to say, but I don't have any special announcement tonight. The next match, as you see, is supposed to be Drew Parker versus Nick Gage in a fucking death match. But that match isn't happening tonight, and I wish it was a storyline. I wish I could tell you guys that there were travel issues or somebody was injured, but I can't lie to you. And he just paused. And you can see he's thinking. And he says, I'm not going to lie to you. Like he's thinking about how to tell the fans something appropriate to let them know what's going on. I can see this. I've seen people give speeches and deliver bad news 100 times. You're watching a man who is stressed, trying to go out there and say, look, I am so sorry. You know, Michael Jordan isn't going to make it to the championship tonight. That's kind of rough. Back to his quote. He says, but it's my responsibility as the owner to tell you Nick Gage can't wrestle tonight. Well, sorry, I had no idea what I was going to say. That's where he paused again. And he's trying to make right on all sides. He said, I just know I needed to come out here, but everyone knows how important Nick Gage is to GCW. There would be no GCW today if it wasn't for Nick Gage. And that's a cold, hard 100% fact. None of us would be here today without Nick Gage, and Nick Gage may not be able to wrestle today. And I don't know when he'll be able to wrestle again. But when Nick is able to wrestle again, this will always be his home. And I want to look into the camera and let everyone know that this is Nick Gage's home forever. And so I ask, you know, I'm fucking ride or die for Nick. I know all of you are too. So let's throw positive vibes towards MDK. And I promise you, when that time comes, when he's ready to wrestle again, this is where he'll be. So there were a lot of big, end quote, by the way, there were a lot of big question marks that do need to be answered. And I know there were a lot of people that were like, okay, what's GCW, you know, what's Game Changer Weekly going to say? What are we going to say? I'm not going to speak for Brant. I will say what I think. I've seen everything that everyone saw publicly. I have even watched Gage go on Instagram and walk his dog twice a day and go on there. When there are questions asked about the terminal and him there, he says he's there, but that's all he will or does say. That's all he gives us. So I'm trying to give my opinion, but I feel like my opinion is close to fact because I'm going with what I know officially. And I feel like in the long and short of it, I think Gage lost here. I think Parker lost. I think Brett lost. I think GCW as a product lost. And I think the fans lost. I think that's all I really want to say about that. Anything you want to mention, or are you just cool with it? It's up to you. I don't want to place any words, you know.
No, you're good. So when I first saw it, and then right after that Hammerstein video, I was like, here it comes. Here's the Hammerstein announcement. This is going to be cool. And you could just tell, yeah, the way Brett was talking, it was very weird. I have no idea what to think of it. I was actually thinking maybe Cardona was right. Maybe Cardona was Nick is in jail and something's going on there again. Cause I wasn't around at GCW there during that time. So I don't know how even like any announcement or all that stuff was kind of made with when that first happened. But yeah, as you said, speaking as a fan, this was probably the biggest match I wanted to see for the longest time in GCW. I want to see the king of the death matches going against the Prince right now. And I was kind of hoping this would be the passing of the torch moment with the returning Drew Parker and have, as you said, another for, but like, as you said, though, for Nick to have a nice, crazy match at the end of his career with as good as he's looked lately. This was probably the one main match I was looking forward to, maybe outside the ladder match to kind of see what craziness happens. But for me, it was that match. And I just hope whatever's going on, I hope all is well. I hope that Nick gets back in a GCW ring. I definitely want to see him in there. Whatever's going on, I hope it could be overcome and battled through. And I just was disappointed to not see the King versus the Prince that night, but ultimately hope Brett was everything Brett said at the end though did kind of raise my hopes back up. It's like, okay, like I'll be honest, we were a couple weeks ago, we talked about that new promotion, that Pacific North Death Match, whatever, the Pacific new death match company out there. I was like, And he's booked on that card. And the way that Brett kind of like when we talked about that situation with that booking with Brett was kind of like, yeah, like it kind of seemed like this kind of surprised him a little bit, other than like Nick could do his own thing, but it's like he's under quote unquote contract. So I was kind of worried, like maybe something happened again with Nick and Brett, and there's a falling out, and maybe Nick was going to go try this other place and said, hey, this is going to be my new home. That was like a very outside thought of mine, but I just hope whatever is. I just hope we get this match at some point again. I hope we get Nick Gage back in a GCW ring again, and I just hope all's well. It was a very weird thing. It kind of felt like it did, and to be honest, for me and the rest of my notes and the rest of the weekend, it kind of felt like a big downpour on what was to be the most exciting weekend of the year for GCW, and to not have your big star there in a big match, and then the next night in the main event there too with a big name. So something was going on, but I didn't like the vibe of it, but I kind of got better hopes at the end of that promo, and I just hope whatever's happening gets fixed, settled, everyone's well, everyone's fine, everyone works together, and we can see Nick in a GCW ring again.
I also wanted to say that I feel that his fellow wrestlers also took a loss on this one too. And the reason I say that is because let's just say you're going to the 4th of July family picnic, and on the way over, your uncle gets in a car wreck. That really puts a damper on the fucking picnic. So we're hoping for the best, and we're hoping for the best. I don't, you know what I mean? Everything that's out there publicly is out there publicly, and that be that. I will just say it again. I want to reiterate, and I hope Brett sees it. I feel bad for Brett because he was obviously it looked like a very high stress situation, and he had to go face the music in front of a lot of paying people who really love him and what they do. So I saw that. I've been in business long enough. I see what that is, and good for him for getting through it in one piece. It could have been worse.
Yeah, like for me, the most person I felt bad for was Drew. Like I said, like maybe this was the passing of the torch, his big return, big home. I was so like when they said the massive announcement, I immediately felt so bad for Drew, but I just knew if he was going to wrestle, like what happened, it was just going to be crazy. I know that he loves GCW, he loves the Showboat, the AC crowd, they love him. And I thought this was just a huge moment for him, and unfortunately, whatever happened. And for me, that was who I kind of really felt bad for, because Drew Parker's sneakily probably one of my favorite wrestlers in GCW. Like I really enjoy everything he does, the passion he brings, the joy that he just gets from the fans, and while working for the GCW, those 3 letters, it just means a lot to him. And as during his entrance for his match, you could see it right away. And it's not to have the match against the King is just on the biggest show of the year. It's gotta be brutal, man. And like I kind of feel like it's like when Stone Cold walked out and like screwed Eddie Guerrero over. Like holy crap, man! That's what honestly what I was feeling like, man. Like I couldn't imagine. And hopefully this doesn't hurt any other further stuff from Drew, but yeah, that's all I got really.
So did we announce the Drew Parker versus Brandon Kirk officially thing, or
Yes, we did just now.
Yeah. All right. So Drew Parker comes out first. Fans are extremely happy to see him back. He got one hell of a weapon, a welcome. On a moment's notice, Brandon Kirk steps up. Mad respect to you, sir. Daddy's going home with a double payday. I'll give him that much. But, back there was someone who had to step up and take a match against Drew fucking Parker. And it's his return match, which means it's going to be an even bigger banger.
And out of all the people back there that, like, I wasn't expecting to see Kirk out, but that was a perfect opponent, I think, for Drew to do what they did during this matchup to fill in, as you said, on a moment's notice.
And Frank's just saying he talked to all the Brits at the merch tables and was a pleasure all weekend. Nicest guys. Yeah, I've had a good chance to talk to Drew, and I've had a good time talking to Big F and Joe, and both of them were absolutely fantastic. Just nice people. And like Zack Sabre Jr., like big talkers will take up 100 years talking to you about the simplest things. And I love it. Okay, back to this match here. I see panes of glass propped in the corner of the ring, light tubes, and bundles of chairs. And now relax, guys. We got 6.5 minutes. I'm going to do another minute by minute. So if you need to take a breather, go for it. I'm going to tell you a story. So our opening minute, both grab tubes and start smashing each other's heads in the middle of the ring. Spooky gas was everywhere. Drew has first blood. Kirk is eating glass. Parker drop kicked Kirk through one of the panes of glass. Kirk spears Drew through the other pane. They're working at a very fast pace here. Drew had a tube busted in his mouth. Minute 2, Kirk got busted in his face. Parker was throwing darts into Kirk's back. Over here, fans were saying, as everyone wants Kirk darted on their side of the ring. Minute 3, darts are now going through Drew's mouth. It's sticking out the guy's cheek. Minute 4, chairs are being set up. Drew is bloody. Bundles on top of the chairs are there. Minute 5, Drew and Kirk get on top of the chairs. He kisses Drew. Psycho driver through the chairs. Parker kicks out at 1. He's in Hulk mode, stacking tubes on Kirk. He's cutting himself with tubes. The fans are going crazy. He hits a huge swanton. Kirk kicks out at 1. Now we have 2 people hulking out. Minute 6, Drew is busting tubes on Kirk's head. GCW chants are going on why these tubes are being busted. Kirk got smashed in the fucking face. Anyway, Drew covers for 3. Our winner here was Drew Parker. Even at 6 minutes, I'm not going to discount a good match. And that's exactly what they had here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wrote down, I was very happy. I kind of just said it earlier, even though I didn't read off from my notes, but I was very happy for the response Drew got in his return. I was glad to see Brandon Kirk be the one to step up and face Drew in this match. This was a violent match, and I loved how Brandon gave Drew an amazing return match. And Drew once again showed how much he was missed in GCW and the AC crowd. I'm so glad they gave him that love because, like I said, like with Macisos, you could see it. Like for me, like day one seeing Macisos, you just saw like they love GCW. They love the fans. Yes. They love everything. And Drew Parker's been one of those ones. Like I just remember that TOS and like him just kind of being in awe of everything going on at the showboat there, man. Like I just have so much love for Drew Parker. And I'm glad he was able to have this match. I'm so grateful for Brandon to step up and give him this match and put him over and have the craziness and give the fans what they fill in for a pretty big spot. Like I said, I'm probably not the only one who was really looking forward to this matchup, but for Kirk to step up there was awesome. And as Great One said there, someone's loss is another person's opportunity. And I am all for Brandon, Casey, them to take that ball and run with it. They've stepped up and helped out GCW on last minute kind of bookings. It feels like a couple times as a surprise notice to fill in for someone injury or flight issues. So they're always loved. They're always welcomed in the terminal. They got such a big crowd reaction. I pleased now with Maciso splitting up, with Drew Parker kind of back, with Arena coming back, with we're getting the Big F and Joes, the Lou Nixons. Like, please, let's start doing something with this ultra violent scene here and pushing the Kirks and the people that show up for GCW and the people that get the love from the GCW in the home place, because that's what it's all about. And for me, step up, and Kirks did it, and I want to see big things coming up here in the future for the Kirks.
Same big fans here. Brandon grabs a mic at the end of this match and says Drew is one of the best death matchers on the planet. That says a lot coming from him. He raises Drew's hand and welcomes him back to GCW, and I thought that was a very classy thing to do, even when Brandon didn't need to say or be a part of any of that. And I thought that was a classy move. And after everything that went on, I think that was a nice cherry on the sundae to help push Drew a little further over, given the fact that he probably planned a whole match. You know what I mean? He probably took weeks planning, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. You know, maybe he has 11, 12 minutes, and then it got cut down, and then it's a surprise person and whatnot. So yeah, give him a lot of credit for that. And I hope we do eventually see Gage down the road against Parker.
Yes. All right. Another, I think, last minute announced match was a scramble match as Alec Price, Dustin Waller, Fuego del Sol, Griffin McCoy, Jack Cartwheel, and Mr. Danger were the competitors for this scramble match.
Oh my goodness. So this one was chaos. I even wrote in my notes here. chaos. I'm going to give you at least the best notes I could on this one. So here we go. Alec Price was out first. He always gets good chance straight from the curtain, especially on the East Coast. Jack Cartwheel was out in a faux fur jacket, and I think that would make Mariah Carey jealous. Plus, I actually like the look. I feel like it's a small upgrade. It makes him feel like he's more than he is, having something like that. Anybody that's ever had a jacket like that obviously thinks a lot of themselves. Project that. Honestly. Then Mr. Danger, Griffin McCoy, Dustin Waller, and finally Fuego del Sol. Alec, Fuego, Jack, and Mr. Danger shined. A couple JCW people in this match with Waller and McCoy. Jack's coast to coast had enough jump for another couple feet. Mr. Danger slid on the floor. I was unknown if it was glass or liquid. The last half of the match, the Band-Aid was torn off and bodies started flying old school GCW scramble style 2 years ago. Think of it that way. Alec Price hit that top rope spinning DDT on McCoy for the win. So our winner here was Alec Price in a 10.5 minute 6-man scramble match. And I was really happy with this one. I liked it a lot. What were your thoughts on this one?
I loved all the competitors in this match. It was a nice mix of young talent. I loved how high flying this match was. Bodies were just going everywhere. Everyone shined in this match. They all got their spots in, and they all looked really good and shined. And I was glad to see Alec get the win, and I hope they start to do something with him while Cole's out, because I just think he's kind of being wasted away right now. Not wasted away, but not used to his full potential and what he could provide to GCW. In the JCW title scene, you want to throw him in the mix. I want to say maybe after the next night, the Extreme title, who knows? But I do just love to see Alec Price in the mix somewhere. And it feels like even before the Cole winning the brass ring, like they felt like they kind of were not doing much with him by putting him in the tag team. And then they started doing something with both Cole and Alec. And now with Cole being out, it kind of feels like Alec kind of cooled down a little bit again, but he's just so talented and such a fan favorite that I just want to see bigger things from him in GCW. And hopefully after this weekend, we're off to the right start there.
Given the absence, I'd love to see Alec Price wearing a Ratty Daddy jersey right now.
Yeah, that too.
I think that would be a nice nod to his boy out there. And I don't know whose idea it was to put Alec in glass, but he did it, and his back looked wrecked. Dude, that shower had to suck afterwards.
What? I was thinking the same. I mean, we're on the same page. I was thinking that same thing. Just like that one bump caused all those little cuts, and then I thought it was like, ooh, that's going to be a fun shower later on. That's not going to be fun.
Dude, after he hit that thing on impact, his elbow was just bleeding like crazy. So DJ Luda said Dustin Waller is awesome. I want to give him props. He had a match Friday in Mass and came down to AC, had 2 matches, and then drove back for another show in Mass, then probably drove home to Connecticut. Holy shit. Reed is in. He's saying Alec is just nuts. I agree. I'll tell you, I like Alec a lot. When he came on for his interview, he was nice as can be. I've been around him a couple times and never a bad thing to say. He's East Coast real. If you don't like it, he'll tell you.
All right. The main this was a main event, right? Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember if there was another match.
This is the
long card, 11 matches. All right.
Yeah.
Our main event for Homecoming night 1 was the much anticipated 3-way ladder match. Confused me. That's 3-way ladder match as Mance Warner and Blake Christian defend their titles against Joey Janela for who is the undisputed GCW World Champion.
All right, boys and girls, I got hellish notes on this one. If anybody needs to take a drink or relax, here we go again. So in this match, it was a 32-minute match. Both GCW World Championships are on hand. So I'm wondering if this is a unification, why are there 2 belts hanging? And what happens if they both come down with 1 each? Now, it's good we had to, because at one point, one of the belts falls off. So
I saw that. I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do? What's going to happen here?
Yeah. You're going to put Galt on a fucking, ladder and make him go put it back up there again? Or? He'd do it. He'd totally do it, though. Video packages are playing, and it's only the first quarter of hour 3. The show ends at hour 4 with 11.5 minutes left. We're technically getting one long live action movie in this main event. This monster swallows almost an hour of time, and it's worth every minute. Game Changer Weekly ran a poll that asked fans, who would you like to see as the new GCW World Heavyweight Champion? Mance Warner got 60% of the vote and Joey with 30%. Blake drives out in his car, revs it up for a little bit of fun, and he's getting booze. I just want to mention here, it's been 448 days since Blake has been beaten in any way. And if I've counted right, this should be his 46th title defense. I really wish this run wasn't muddied at the end by storylines, because that's a hell of a feat.
I wish it had storylines at the beginning more than at the end. That was my thing there about that statement. I was like, I read there's just more stories and a purpose for his title reign earlier on instead of at the end.
So just for fun out there, who has held the GCW World Championship the longest? I'm going to go ahead and answer. We have Nick Gage at 722 days. Who was the second, though? RSP at 488. So this title reign with the GCW World Championship with Blake Christian was the third longest title reign of the current era. So Janela then was out second. He held the belt from November 12, 2014 to June 13, 2015. That's 204 days. But this was before our current generation of GCW. So he really hasn't won in this era. So then Pantera kicks in and Mance hits the curtain. It looks like Mance is sponsored by Garage Beer tonight. He's out there and kind of, posing by it. Mance's eyes start scanning the crowd. He's staring down everyone. Adam Galt's in tow to keep things orderly. He gets in the ring and he's already on go time. Before the bell, all three men in the ring and Blake. I said all three men in the ring and Blake. All three men are in the ring. Blake is getting fuck you, Blake chants. Finally, the Joey's chants start to kick in. Kudos to Prazak for staying quiet and letting the cheers breathe. GCW and Prazak has always been good on that. I feel it is sometimes best to leave the fans alone with their emotions. That, I think, is the best way to put that. The match starts. Blake makes Joey eat a super kick, and the two champions are going at it. I know Joey adds spice, but he splits the face vote between himself and Mance. It took Mance less than 4 minutes to bring out his screwdriver. He's jamming it into Blake's left leg and knee. Janela is bloodied. If Joey's going to be the champion, he's got to get them that front tooth fixed, unless he's going to whatever, because I don't know how that's going to look aesthetically if he's the champion and then he's got like a gray yellow tooth kind of thing going on there. I don't know if he has anything he puts in public, like, you know what I mean?
He got knocked out. Like, yeah. I think he had it, and then he lost it a while ago, and it hasn't came. He never put it back yet.
Well, it sucks. It's expensive, so I know, of course, he'd like to get everything fixed, but who knows? Blake Christian springboard 450 on top of Mance Warner, who was suspended on a ladder. I'm going to say it just because I need to say it, but nothing against the match. There were a lot of guys standing on the ladder waiting for someone to interact with them. Just put it out there. Mance was bloodied. Janela, Death Valley driver through a door. Janela is always plagued by those unbroken doors. Mance immediately backjobs Joey over the top rope and onto a table outside of the ring. Mance puts the ladder on his head and delivers Terry Funk style ladder shots to the head. I'd say it was a nice callback. Mance sets up a chair and takes a seat. He's showing how much he's in control of this match. A big fight breaks out on the larger ladders between Blake, who eventually falls off and hits a door, and Mance, who falls off and hit the back of his head on a ladder, and Joey, who magically survived. He jumps down and grabs a ladder big enough to reach the belts. Once he sets it up, Broski Jimmy runs to the ring with a chair, and he starts swinging on Joey. Masha Slamovich then shows up and pulls out Jimmy Lloyd for interfering. She hits him with the belt. She's getting payback from the events earlier tonight. We now have a full-on Jimmy Masha fight going on outside the ring while everything is going on inside the ring. Joey then jumps up on a ladder. Broski is placed on a table below. Joey jumps and crushes both the table and Broski Jimmy. There were two tables on the floor, but most of their weight was on just one of the tables. It looked like it hurt a lot, but it was a big spot. SDL then comes out. She choke slams Blake onto a door. He bounces and she answers with an immediate spear. I think it was a nice job that she answers quickly when one of those doors, again, don't break. She helps Mance up the ladder as Megan Bayne attacks SDL from behind. Mance has a screwdriver and accidentally hits SDL instead. He turns around and eats a Bayne spear. She's now bludgeoning him with his own screwdriver. Bayne runs up the ladder where Blake is climbing, and as she grabs a hold of him, she hits him with a chair shot from Shane Mercer. Mercer climbs the ladder with Bayne in his arms, hits a huge moonsault and battery. Probably the most textbook win that you could ask for too. It was so high that they bounced an easily foot or more on the initial impact. Blake is bouncing himself on the ladder towards the belts. The ladder is falling apart. He's got his finger on the belt. Joey runs up the ladder, grabs Blake. He's superplexed off the top of the ladder. There are high spots everywhere. Fans are chanting Joey, and they're also chanting "This is awesome," which we all know that's the stamp of approval from the fans. Joey is back on his feet first. He's building a ladder bridge that's hanging across the big ladder and the ropes. It is so hard for me to explain that. Man sets up a table, and then he pushes Joey onto the ladder bridge. They jump off the ladder and then attempt a DDT through a table. Tables and doors then strike again. I have to say that's a little rough on the talent. Mance climbs the ladder. Blake makes a door bridge, then starts fighting with Mance on the ladder. He power bombs Mance through the door bridge. Joey's back up as Mance goes down. Blake climbs up with Joey. They're exchanging fists. Blake hits a package pile driver on Blake. The ladder snapped in a nasty angle, but it looked great. Joey was playing Legos with the ladders and chairs. He made a door bridge suspended on a ladder bridge. He lays Mance on the bridge and goes to jump before Blake is back again. He has a door and 2 chairs. He's building another bridge. Joey and Blake are now fighting on the very top of the ladder. Blake has a hold of one, and one belt is now unhooked. Blake is on Joey's shoulders. He sends Blake through the door bridge below. He reaches for the belt, and Cardona chucks a ladder at Joey, knocking him off and through that door bridge that he built earlier. Now, fans are booing heavily. This is where Matt grabs a microphone and announces this match is now a fatal 4-way, and the 4th participant is me. So he's now climbing the ladder. Here comes Manders. He pulls Matt off the ladder, hits a right hand, throws him from the ring, and starts giving him the business, and they fight to the back. The match is now at a standstill for a moment. Mance is back, and he centers the ladder. He's climbing. Out comes Effie. He pulls Mance down, and they go at it with the fury of 6+ months of drama and bullshit. Effie's big right hands into a sack rider, and the fans explode. Then Cole Radrick's music hit. The place popped hard, but there's no Cole. Music keeps playing. Effie is draped on the second rope, staring down the ramp, hoping to see his friend, and he's waving him into the ring. But as Effie is still waiting, JBL enters from the crowd. I love the cowboy hat and the jacket. He's got a look, and he can work with Manders behind the scenes, was the first thing I thought. JBL methodically wipes his boots and slowly gets in the ring. His eyes are slowly fixed on Effie. The music was a distraction. Effie turns around and eats a huge right hand. He's picked up, and then he's on the receiving end of a lariat. Effie's down. He's picked up again, and JBL delivers another patented lariat. Effie rolls away, stunned as to what hit him. JBL is all that you're hearing from the fans in the crowd. JBL then watches Mance place the ladder, climb it, and unhooks the final belt to become the undisputed Game Changer Wrestling World Champion. In 32 minutes, our winner here was Mance Warner. I need a drink.
Yeah, that was crazy, but that was the perfect main event I think I wanted to see from these three in this kind of match for the world title at Homecoming. This just had old school GCW feel all over it, all the fuckery, and then I absolutely loved all the the run-ins. It just ties everything back in together, and maybe even kind of start a new one with Cardona and Manders. That was kind of what I was hoping for when I saw those two go out. I really hope for Manders to get a big name like Cardona and wrestle and have a nice little feud with him would be really good. But I just loved how it kind of tied all this cool storylines in GCW and all interweaved it all. And JBL return, you could have gave me 500 names. JBL would not be a name I would say in GCW, but here the fuck we are. And Effie, yeah, he's like I forgot what he called, like he had like a really cool name for like what he calls now all these people for the ex WWE people coming after him. Man, he's just getting beat up by all of them, but I'm glad that he's getting the rub from all those big names. He's absolutely deserves it. And Effie versus JBL is interesting, but I think this was just a one-off for JBL. I think this was him, Mance Warner, calling in the big guns for a favor. JBL and Mance Warner make a perfect team. And I enjoyed it. I got the winner that I wanted. I was rooting for Mance, so I was happy with it. And this match was crazy. A lot of crazy spots. I don't know how, if Joey's still hurt, like whatever internal injuries he has, some of those fucking bumps, holy shit, I could not imagine taking it with being injured as much as he was or / is. So Clout Vampires, there we go, Clout Vampires. I can think of it, man. That was a cool name. Yeah, all the Clout Vampires coming after Effie's. It's cool to see, but it's like, god damn, Effie can't buy a break. But yeah, you called a lot there. You called Cardona coming out and putting himself into the fourth competitor. You called Effie coming out, screwing Mance Warner, and I thought that was it too. And that Cole, Radrick, all my friends are dead. That pop should have melted his heart, man. That when he does come back, it's got to be an AC. That crowd was just going to go ballistic for him. And like, I just like when they had like this, I heard the music and they did the zoom out and then they kind of zoomed in on the entrance, just the tunnel and like the curtains. I was just waiting for Cole Radrick to sit there and do like the old John Cena returning at the Royal Rumble, just sit there at the end with his head down, arms crossed. And then like you hear my friends are like, that's what I was really hoping for. But I was like, Cole's going to get the moment here and this place is going to fucking erupt. But that was a great way to swerve the fans and get JBL in. Yeah, I loved it. Overbooked the shit out of that match for me. Like that made perfect sense, but it was overbooked in a good way. Like I was saying, it made sense with interweaving everything that's gone on with all these different entities connected to all three of these competitors in the World Championship match. That was good. That was fantastic booking. I loved it, and I'm very happy to see the Mance Warner GCW World Title reign continue and everything that he now brings to the table. I'm excited, and I kind of want to see Blake Christian go from here and maybe feud with an Alec Price for just a side feud. Doesn't have to be for a title or anything. Just have a blood feud. I think that would be a good place now for Blake to go and kind of return the favor and give Alec that rub that Blake got before he became champion and kind of return the favor for some of these young, great faces and talent that GCW has. I think that would be a good spot right now for Blake with that. But Joey, I guess he just continues to do Joey Janela things at GCW. Get the big names, have the crazy 30-minute matches that end up satisfying the fans. And I don't mind that from Joey. That's why I don't mind this as Mance Warner leaving champion. I want Joey to still do what he's doing right now, just not as champion. Let Mance Warner continue getting heat, building up new faces, get the crowd behind some of these new stars for GCW and start building up some people to challenge for him. And I think he's going to be a perfect champion for it. And I think Blake to kind of help along with that will be good for that as well.
They have so many shows before the next AC. It's nuts. I think they're running every weekend in September. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not really sure. I think there is one dead weekend in September. I'm going to double check that right now. The reason why I say that is because let's see here. Yes, there are 2 dead weekends there. Well, hell, I'll just announce it now. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have one called Manders on the show as our next interview in our series of interviews. So he will be here in 2 weeks. We generally like to do an interview if there is not a show the previous weekend. So, if there's nothing Saturday or Sunday, what the hell are we talking about Tuesday? We'll get someone on here and talk to them. So we're really looking forward to that. Manders is on a huge come up right now. And I think as he's on his come up, he's got a lot to say. And I want to make sure that everyone in GCW gets a chance to know him. So I think that's exactly what we are going to do. Yeah, Luda, he's so nice. I'm looking forward to it. I'm already getting questions.
Yeah, I'm ready to. I'm excited to talk with him and see kind of about his growth and everything that he's been going through this year and how we start off. I do want to talk to him because I think he's been such an integral part of GCW for over the last year, and to see how he's kind of taken that role and taking the ball and making shit happen with it and taking advantage of every opportunity he gets. I'm excited to talk with Manders, and I'm excited for the fans to hear good old Cowboy give some good stories next in a couple weeks here.
My final note on this show, I put finally some grown man shit is going down at GCW. Now bolster the scramble high flyer lucha division that we should have, and we'll be set for a higher plateau as a company.
And that's where I think Blake could fit right in. Like
with Blake, I'm just going to ask you. I'm so sorry I cut you off there. I feel like the only answer for him right now is to go back to face to remind us who he was, and then he can have whatever, do whatever he wants after that. What are your thoughts on that? Would you rather him stay a heel?
No, but man, that's a tough one because he got so much heat. I want him to stay heel, but I think his moveset and I think his natural feeling as a wrestler I get from him is a face, but he's now starting to show that heel character in Ring of Honor, which I want to see, and I think he's starting to find his footing as a heel character. So that's a tough one for me. I don't know. I think he's now like finding his footing. Give him some more time. Let him find his footing without being a champion. See what he does, not fighting for the championship, not building towards that like how they did. I want to see now how he uses that heel role to give back and elevate other people instead of him being the one that always got elevated and won the belt and won the matches. I want to see a little give back here. And like it doesn't even necessarily need to be every win, but a lot of good feuds, a lot of giving some young talent some momentum. And with his heat, I think that's going to be really easy to do. And for me, I think right now, if Cole's going to be gone a couple more months, I wouldn't mind seeing Alec Price and Blake kind of have a little feud going on to kind of keep both of them in the loop and in everyone's faces and on our shows and TVs every weekend.
Damn, man. Good point. I want to come back to this one real quick here. I said, I think Blake is due for a complete reinvention, like something different from All Heart and All Heat. Okay, we'll talk about that one real quick because Blake mentioned that on the interview that we had with him. He said that one of the most difficult things to do after having a championship and losing it is staying relevant. And so reinvention and things like that, even picking up a solid storyline like Effie did after having his Mance feud, these are what keep you going. So chances are, if there are any types of changes, which if you listen, you also know he is or was developing at the time, even when he was in Japan. So he's got some things going on there. And then I want to just say this too. I believe Frank is right here. Blake's alignment all depends on AC's reaction to him. I really do feel if he tries to go face and the AC fans stop him on it, there goes the face run is done. Because I think we saw that on his first heel run versus John Moxley. The fans kind of put they stomped it out, and so be it. So Frank, I agree with you there, sir.
And see, I would kind of, if you do want to move him face, I would have it build up or like, hey, he's taking L's. He's kind of like realizing, hey, like as a champion, I did a lot of shitty things, and he kind of has to go through it. And kind of like Jey Uso, how they kind of built him, all their bad shit that he did. He had to face all those people, answer to all those people that he screwed over while retaining the championship, and he's going to have to win over the fans by, I think, a few shows, like a lot of shows, a lot of time. I don't think it's going to be something that you're like, oh, he just comes in and saves a face and then, oh, now he's a face. I think what Frank said is right. Like you're going to, like the AC crowd is going to have a lot of say to it. And I don't think it's going to happen overnight or in one show. I think it's, to me, if you're going to be building him back his face, I would do it like how they did Jey Uso. Like you're the heel. Now you're you have no more bloodline. You got no more title, Blake. You're at the bottom. You don't want people to feel sorry for you. You got to start building your way up, start fixing some of those connections that you broke away during this title run. But I would build him up as a face if that's what they're going to do. But I don't know. That is a tough one for me. I kind of want to see a little bit more time to develop his full character as a heel. But I think naturally he's just a face that everybody could get behind with his moveset and demeanor and everything else.
Damn. We did it. Was that night one?
Oh my God, night one. We still got another night 2, 9:30. Okay, we got time here.
We're good. Night 2 is always a touch quicker. We always blow out what we need to say on night 1 on
I'm
some
about
of
to
these
say,
people.
hopefully I don't repeat myself anymore going into night 2 here. But night 1, I think I loved it. It ended good. I ended with the happy note while still kind of having that stuff in the back of my mind from earlier. But I thought this was a great way to end night 1, and I left a happy fan, and I was very excited to see what would happen on night 2, and kind of hopefully we get some more little things here, because I feel like they teased like the entrances and the cinema and all that stuff, and we got it at the main event for sure with all the run-ins and all the crazy stories interweaving with each other, but I was still expecting some more pomp and circumstance going into night 2.
All right, so onward to night 2. The color is now blue instead of purple. We have blue banners, blue on the TV screen, and blue lighting. Great job by someone making adjustments. The purple lights from night 1 was shining directly into the cameras like the sun. And for night 2, they turned those down so that they weren't directly hitting the camera. Great job there. There's an opening package highlighting everything notable from night 1. They did a damn good job on that in a short amount of time. I see a few hangovers in the crowd, but they made it. I just mentioning it because there was one of the fans who spent the whole show constantly trying to make a spectacle of himself for attention. We all know who that was. It was just weird to see it so much.
I might have missed it.
There was one guy up front that's constantly walking.
Was he like standing and dancing around and trying to like? Yeah. Okay, that's the one. I saw one guy too. I'm like, man, this guy, like, I never seen this guy, but he's friendly with everybody there.
Oh, I know.
Cool. He's having fun.
I know who it is. He's really, he's out there going crazy for sure. Yeah, that's all I really had to say to kind of run up, because night 2 was just, we said most of it on night 1. So yeah, night 2, that's what I have to say.
Oh, Frank said he was stuck between him and Cardona's father. I didn't even see Cardona's father was sitting in the front row.
Yeah, I saw he was right there next to Cardona's dad and Party Marty. No, that's yeah. He was having a blast down there down front.
All right. Homecoming night 2, the opening match was Jack Cartwheel against Griffin McCoy.
All righty. Jack comes out looking great. Still got the fur coat. Not like a pimp, though. Griffin McCoy was out next. With him in this match, I feel like this should be a JCW and not worthy of the opener of night 2 on one of the most important weekends in GCW 2024. I was laughing at Jack selling a punch by doing a cartwheel and then falling. Jack hits the red arrow from the top rope for 3. I put our winner here in this quick one, Jack Cartwheel.
Yeah, I'm so done with this top guy pointing to the watch stuff from Griffin McCoy. I'm sorry, like, to me that's ridiculous. I'm glad he's trying new stuff and he's improved in the ring. Like, this match was a really good match, I think, on his end of showing his improvement as a singles wrestler, especially out of all the kind of matches he's been having as of late in JCW and other companies. He's definitely improving each and every time. Jack Cartwheel made it look really good by him. Just the damn pointing to the watch, that scramble spot, like that was one of the notes too. I didn't say it. I forgot to. Like, I loved how he's in the middle, like, it's my time. They're all like, hey, fuck that. And they all just jumped him. I popped on that one. That's what I want to see Eddie Griffin. I almost called him Eddie Griffin. Griffin McCoy treated as a hero there. I think I love how everybody hates him. And yeah, I thought it was a good match. I agree with you. I don't think it was Homecoming
opener worthy. Yeah,
Homecoming night 2 match, but I didn't mind it. And I kind of figured we'd have some more JCW people after seeing night 1 and the JCW show the midnight prior there. So I was kind of expecting it, but this match was it was good. It was a good match, but one I wasn't expecting to see on Homecoming.
That's all I have to say. I'm trying to see if there was anything else. I really kept my notes short on that match because I was like, okay, what's going to be our first banger? And then I'm like, nothing against Jack. It looked like a JCW match. I'm like, that's not necessarily exciting. And if it was exciting, it would have been on the midnight show, and it seemed pretty bare there. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. It's just JCW's bare a lot. And
I unfortunately didn't see that show. I was telling you, I do want to catch that show to see it, but when you showed me the crowd size, I'm like, but I was like, it's after hours. It's probably I don't even know how late the show started over there. I want to say midnight or later, but
yeah,
that is a lot of wrestling to put in a matter of like 36 hours, 3 shows. But I'm I'm a one of those sadistic weirdos that want to go and watch all that shit. So I would have been at all 3 shows, just jacked out of my mind.
You fucking right. That's the only way to be on a midnight show.
Here we go. I like this. Frank, you worded it perfectly there. It having a feel of a JCW match was Griff's fault, not Jack Hartwell's fault. Jack looked so fluid in that match too. Like Jack is fluidity and just his I talk about this all the time, but his confidence every time we see him in his matchups get better and better. And I really think he showcases that in singles matches as he did in this one.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it was 1 hour here. Oh, okay. I could go check out that show if it was an hour long. Then I will check it out.
It was an hour. You'll see what it's like a Sunday morning at the Elks or something kind of thing. It's a very, like, there aren't a lot of people there. I think just the adrenaline of everybody from night one. It's like, okay, do you really want to go back after this? Because I feel everybody was probably emotionally exhausted. You know what I mean?
Especially after that main event and everything from night one. Yeah, for sure.
Because I know that sometimes the best thing I do after the show is sit in my car for 3 seconds and go, okay, I can just sit down and chill. You know? And Luda said, they got front row for it. Nice show. No problems with it. And, we need one of these hour specials at midnight at the Collective.
I take an hour-long emo night. That was fun. Emo night was fun. Yeah, 1 hour little thing kind of fits right in at Collective.
Oh yeah, you know what? No, we'll go on. I'm not. Okay. I'm always thinking about Planet Death. My head always thinks Planet Death. That's my fault. Sorry, guys. It never stops.
Match number 2 was Galeno Del Mal going against Tony Deppen.
All right. So Galeno was out first. He's fresh off that loss from Masha. Deppen then comes out next. Everyone's singing his song. He's fresh off a loss to a very talented Sidney Akeem. The match starts and Tony's getting tossed around the ring like a child. It was important that Tony use his intelligence and experience to beat Galeno in this match. Galeno. Amazing watching Tony do a tope and Galeno catches him without even budging. Tony used snot offense again. Galeno was disgusted. Anytime Galeno got his hands on Tony, it didn't go well for him. Deppen ate a power bomb and a knee strike that would have put out any other wrestler. Galeno then hits Deppen with a twisting butterfly slam and covers for 3. So our winner here in a 10-minute match, surprisingly, was Galeno Del Mal. And I just wanted to cap it off by saying Galeno had an excellent weekend and earned his spots on both nights. And I want to say Deppen had one hell of a good weekend coming in cold and having to take on somebody as quick as Sidney and then turning around and having to take on Galeno as beef. So damn great job. And I couldn't think of many people who could have done it better as Tony did.
Yeah, Tony just makes everyone look good. As like I was saying earlier, that's why I was really happy to have Sidney go against him. Once again, I didn't even think about the difference and contrast of styles as you did. That's a good point. Tony just from not wrestling for the last, I want to say a couple months for GCW, then just to show up at the biggest weekend of the year and put over and make both of their 2 newest stars look good. That just shows, like I was saying, how valuable Tony Deppen is as a wrestler. And I know he's got like his shoot job is a little bit better now, or doing a little bit better, he said, and that's why he's not wrestling as much. But anytime we get Tony on GCW screen, it's always a treat for everybody involved. And I was happy this weekend to get 2 nights of Tony. And this kind of goes along with what we were saying earlier, Galeno Del Mal. Like now this match, he's a face going against Tony Deppen, and the crowd just ate him up, and he looked just as impressive as a face or heel. So actually kind of maybe now talking it out loud, maybe I don't mind them kind of testing the waters and see maybe which way he really does fit in for GCW. I think in natural wrestling, he's going to fit in as a heel, but he also has the moveset, the build, the look, and everything to get over as a face and get the fans excited to watch his in-ring style. So I'm very interested to see what they do with Galeno and what he ultimately does end up with his career. I know he might have the good enough space and wherewithal to go back and forth of face and heel, but I do like how GCW is kind of testing the waters out and letting him play both ends, because we get to see now more variety of Galeno Del Mal, where if he was just stuck in one way, we wouldn't see the other version of him. So this was a great match, and I thought I agree there. Tony did a hell of a job making Galeno Del Mal look good, and Galeno did a hell of a job himself making himself look good anyway. I think this is a match too, where like we caught Tony outside and Tony waved his kid real fast, and then before he got thrown into the ring, that was a cool little spot. I didn't catch that live, but when he posted that tweet out, I did see that. And I thought that was cool. Like him just like, hi, like I'm about to get thrown in the ring.
You know, it sounds weird, but it kind of isn't. I'm at my age. I like to see a young dad enjoying everything about being a young dad with a young family. Like I'm done with that now. And I'm really happy to see someone get true joy out of doing family things like he does. And to me, that matters. And it just puts him in a better light. I already knew he was a great guy. Stuff like that. I don't know. I like seeing it. I'm at that age. I guess I'm old. I'm like, oh, hey, look at that. Something nice. I like it. Yeah. I'm weak. I'll go ahead and then just run into what happened right after this match. Pantera plays and Manser comes out with both GCW World Championship belts in his hands. He's throwing water and other people's flags. I like that he shakes up the jar of ants because it keeps everyone on their toes. He put Cardona and JBL over for knowing that Manser is the man at GCW and said Deathmatch Royalty runs GCW. He said he's going to run over anyone in GCW, he said, and bring them all, is what he said. It does feel good having one world champion again. I wanted to say that after all the confusion. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like it's simpler and easier to follow. So
yeah, I did like it for the time and what was kind of happening in GCW. I did love the craziness of having two champions, and I think it gave us lots to talk about week in and week out. That was for sure. So I did enjoy that.
Frank is speechless.
Yeah. So I don't know. We don't have to dive into it, but who would be your first opponent right now? Like for Mance Warner, like as a actual, like not just a throwaway match, like how they have Danhausen right now, like a feud, a build-up feud, a story. Who would be the person you could throw at Mance Warner right now for his first official undisputed title?
Before I do that, I'm going to kill time and say one thing. I have the way that Effie and Mance should end or should have ended. I would have taken all the people that were in that circle that were part of that story, like how Cole got beat up and Alec got beat. And I think they should lumberjack. I think Deathmatch Royalty should be on the outside of the ring lumberjacking. And I think all of Effie's friends should be on the other side of the ring lumberjacking. And I think Effie and Mance should duke it out in the ring. I don't know.
I don't mind that being a different match that we haven't seen in GCW and more old. And that's Mance's old school stuff. And Effie, that makes sense because Mance has the whole locker room against him. Effie has the whole locker room with him and going against Deathmatch Royalty. I definitely like that. I don't know if I would do that for his first one.
No, not the first.
Yeah, but eventually for sure. As you said, that's what you did say. You said eventually down the road to get Effie back into that scene. Yeah, absolutely. I like that idea a
lot. Not as a major storyline, but as some, I'd like to see Galeno take on Manser also, because it would make Manser look a lot better or more beatable, stronger when he beats Galeno. I don't know. I'm at the same point where I want to see Manser go up against John Wayne Murdoch. Let's bloodbath. I'm dead serious. Let's bloodbath. They're both safe enough. They know what the fuck they're doing. Paint the fucking city red.
That'd be good, like stylistic, both just old school, like that you got to have those title matches out in like North Carolina or
old school Southern,
because that would be those
WCW. That's how I feel. I feel that's Mid-South. I'd like to see a good old bloody Mid-South. Oh, that's nice. There we go. Smash that like, smash that like button. Give us some love.
Yes. But while we're reading that, so if you are liking what we are doing today, we do have a oh my god, it's been so long. Here we go.
We never do this.
Right? Thanks for the heads up and reminder though. But if you do enjoy and want to support and donate to the Body Slam Net team and us, there it is, slamchaps.com, and you can show your support on there. I don't know. I'm stuck on Justice. Like, I want to see Justice have a nice little feud. Like, I love the one-off. I did absolutely love that, but I think they could tell a cool story of just like I think they could further that one match and turn it into a series of matches because they got such a deep history and everything. And I think that would kind of be put some time away to let Effie go deal with JBL or whatever else he's got to deal with now, and pushes what's his name, Matthew Justice, back into our eyes and gets him into that time. Now I would like to see him earn it, build a couple more matches, and then get there at some point. But I definitely don't want to see him come back and get thrown into there right away. But yeah, there's a lot of good names out there. I would like to see. Like John Wayne Murdoch was a good one. Drew Parker, if he's back, that shit for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of good ones there, but I just want to see who you think would be the first.
Constant death matches. I'm constantly thinking Manders and this death matcher and that death matcher, and because
I'm thinking of those people too.
Okay, yeah.
No, but like I just said, for the bloody, and like those people will get bloody with him. Like that's where I'm like, take advantage of all this bloodiness and ultra violence with Mance as your champion while we have him.
And DJ's right here. He said, I think it could build to something with Zilla possibly. That's what we were talking about earlier, right before you came in, DJ. I strongly feel that is going to happen sooner rather than later if he isn't picked up by the WWE or somebody beforehand. Same here. Luda, I'm with you. Matt Tremont. Oh yeah, all day long. Justice would do a fun 2-month program. Absolutely. And if he was here at the time, the SGC split, I feel, would have been a lot more entertaining.
Yes, that would have been the story of the summer. Other than it just being Effie and Mance, it would have been a huge story. Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's see. Nope, I'm out of notes. Sorry, go for it.
Here we go. Our third matchup was Speedball Mike Bailey versus Zilla. Real fast, while you read these notes, I'm going to step away for 2 seconds. I'll be back before you are done with it.
No problem.
Sorry.
I'm just going to put up. Great one says maybe Rena should get a shot at Manser at some point.
If she's going to be around, I'm for that.
Hey, I'm around if she puts the title on the line. What if Manser collects another belt?
Champ versus champ.
We haven't thought of it. I just figure, I mean, he's already death matching.
So. Yeah, I do like that.
And yeah, he would say, well, I'm tough as fuck. And here we are now with 2 belts. And yeah, anyway, yeah, you go do your thing here. I'm going to talk to the fun people. Okay. So our next match, this is the third match of the evening. It'll be Speedball Mike Bailey versus Zilla Fatu. Oh, look at that picture he has. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Anyway, I have Speedball out first. He's carrying his TNA X Division Championship. Zilla, of course, comes out. He's way loved. They started out this match fast paced. Both can really move. Zilla hit a nasty Samoan drop on the apron that looked like he hurt his back. I liked Ball. I'm calling him Ball now. Faking the fans out by telling them to move from their seats, then not using that direction. However, they did throw each other into a shitload of chairs. Speedball tried to pull some heel shit by holding onto a leg lock with it while senior referee Adam Galt is yelling at him to break the hold. Speaking of Adam Galt, he checked Zilla's shoulders to see if they were touching the ropes, which I thought was an awesome call. Halfway through the match, we had "This is awesome" chants coming from the crowd. Who else gets that in their 26th recorded match? Speedball with one of the most textbook and beautiful shooting star presses in all of wrestling. Bailey hits a tornado kick into the Ultimo weapon and Zilla kicks out at 2. We had dueling Speedball and Zilla chants. Rarely, Speedball's the one to introduce chairs and door, and he builds a door bridge. It just doesn't happen often for Mike. Speedball is stunned by the "We want fire" chants as he's trying to put the door bridge up. Zilla then gets placed on the door. Bailey plants 2 knees directly into a door and breaks it as Zilla moved out of the way. Zilla makes a Speedball sandwich on a bunch of chairs and doors and then hits a huge splash. Then he goes for the Samoan spike and Bailey rolls him up for 3. Our winner here, Speedball Mike Bailey. Both these guys chants as they shake hands, and I just wanted to say that this was a big gamble betting on Zilla in a 17-plus minute match, but it also says a lot about both wrestlers, and huge respect to Mike in this category.
Yeah, and the one person I would have that match with Zilla would be Speedball. That was like the perfect opponent to have that length of match and kind of stretch him out a little bit. That match, I think Zilla had like the 2 most like anticipated matchups for me of the weekend with Justice and Bailey. Zilla killed it, but I think Speedball, as I was saying, just showed how valuable he is. And I loved how he came into this match like just full intensity. Like he was like taking it seriously, took it as a big name, a dangerous name that could take him out. And with him being the X Division champion, yeah, that was a big match for Zilla, and I think he definitely stepped up. But Speedball stepped up and made and helped Zilla out a lot. That's not a knock on Zilla. He's so young. Everybody's going to need. But Bailey's going to walk anybody through that kind of matchup. So Zilla did an awesome job of keeping the pace with Speedball, and I really enjoyed that match. And I thought it just showcased another side of Zilla and Speedball with getting the doors and chairs and stuff. Like that's something we didn't see from both competitors. And this match ended up being like something I did not expect, and I enjoyed it for what it was, for what it did do, because it surprised me going that extreme with somebody like Speedball.
Somebody asked real quick about Zilla's record. I'm looking it up right now. Let me see if I can get an answer.
I think that was his first or second loss, I think.
Yeah, it definitely less than 3. I'm trying to see.
Actually, I got it right here. Here we go.
Okay, good. I take too damn long.
I actually just had it up here, so I was able to quickly look it up. Zilla by promotion, submit. He's actually got 3 losses.
Oh, there you go. Who do we got? Because
let's see here. I can't. Does it break it down? Doesn't break it down by who, but let me see. Here we go. Nope, I can't see it right. Actually,
give me a second. I'll get you. I got you.
Okay, Speedball.
I'm pretty good with this.
And then he lost to the Rejects when he tagged in with Nick Gage, going against the Rejects, and then that might be the only singles. Yeah, that might be the actually only singles loss that he's had.
I'm looking. Yeah, that's it. Son of a bitch.
I don't know, though. I don't think he does need to take losses at this point yet, but he's going to have to and show how he can recover and build up his character back up with it through adversity. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of was shocked that I was interested who would win. If I had to put money on it, I would bet Speedball just because of the impact and everything. But with the way that they were pushing Zilla and the way that Zilla's been stepping up, I wouldn't have been surprised if Zilla would have got the huge upset win over Speedball that night. There you go, matching night 2 colors.
I'm waiting for you to turn red, and then we could do the red and blue thing.
I don't think I could do that on my phone. No. Ever since I switched networks, my phone hasn't been able to do that.
Yeah, I've got one of those ones where it's just
there. It is. Yeah, the Punjabi prison was the other one. Yeah, I used to have one of those. I don't have it now. It's all on my phone.
Yep, basic fairy lights, simple and easy. All right, so yeah, Fuego del Sol, huh?
Yes. Next match was Fuego del Sol versus the asshole Charles Mason. Interesting.
Charles comes out wearing this was actually a really good match. It ended up being pretty damn good, surprisingly. Charles comes out wearing Fuego's mask. Pero's behind him. I look at the mask on Mason and wonder if he's in Fuego's head or if Fuego's in his head. Mason says, "Cut my music." At some point, I'm waiting for maybe Brett to do a record scratch. Like, he's forcing Emil to call him the East Coast Ace. That's some bullshit. Mason then leads a young, dumb, and broke chant that did not catch on. Fuego then came out in white. I think he looks awesome in white. He runs to the ring and overwhelms Mason with a flurry of offense. Fuego isn't letting up. Mason turned the table by spitting water in Fuego's eyes. Mason is yelling at Fuego, Fuego at Pero, "You don't tell me what to do." That's Fuego and Pero. If they had a baby, it'd be Fuego.
I love it. The new tag team, Fuego.
Yeah, that's my favorite spaghetti sauce. Fuego. Mason then decides to cut Fuego's, I can't fucking say it now. Cut his mask open and stab him in the head with the scissors. His mask is ripped quite a bit on his left side. Pero's outside setting up a table. Mason then hits a clout cutter, which was a little disrespectful. Pero throws a door in the ring. Mason places it in the corner. Fuego jumps from the top rope and puts Mason through that door in the corner. Pero is setting up another door on the outside. He then gets in the ring. Huge choke slam on Fuego. Stackhouse runs in and gets involved. Sam puts Pero on the outside table and splashes him through that table. It's finally back to both men without any help or interference. And at some point, Mason ripped the ass out of his own pants. Richard Holiday walks out a minute later. Fuego's distracted and he eats a big clothesline. Mason's yelling at Mason is yelling at Richard for a chair. This is going to be a long evening. Richard fucks over Mason by sliding the chair under Mason's legs. Fuego grabs it and delivers a nasty shot to the back. Mason's down. Fuego hits a tornado DDT for the win. Our winner here was Fuego del Sol. What's your thoughts on this one?
I loved the opening with Fuego rushing to the wing. See, now I can't talk.
Rushing to the wing?
Rushing to the wing.
Yeah, you need some Fuego. Fuck.
It's
one of those nights.
I loved it because it added the realism to it. He needed to go get his payback. There was no, hey, I'm gonna enjoy the crowd, and that just adds to the realism feel for it. I love that Fuego was able to add that to this match. He's looked so good in the ring, but this one I think was out of all the nights. I think he looked really, really solid in ring on this one. He just looks fluid and smooth. I'm glad he did make a tweet about it too, saying like, hey, I'm glad I'm able to do something I wasn't able to do before. And I'm glad that GCW is giving me the home to do that. And I wrote, before I even saw that, I was glad he found a home in GCW. Holiday's turn for the win was a surprising, nice, and I think expected. It's so weird. Like, I don't know. Like, I was kind of shocked the way they did it, but I'm not shocked it happened. But I'm glad it happened to help Fuego get the victory over Mason. Like, it was just a weird combination of everything. But I loved the ending. I love Mason finally getting his fucking ass kicked. I'm glad it happened at Homecoming. I just wish I wanted to see more people just beat the hell out of him. But I know we're about to talk about what happened at the end, and like I just wanted more of that to show how vicious and hated Mason is in AC and by the GCW crowd. But I think Fuego did a really good job of expressing himself and in this match and showing like the dire urge to win and to get his mask back. My one question is, when he cut that second mask, like, is Mason paying for these masks at this point? Because like, if I was like, got a fresh new gear for Homecoming, boom, it's ripped off night one, like or night two. Like I don't know. Hopefully Mason is rich enough to pay Fuego back for those masks. But
you know what I thought of? Just thinking, maybe he's not happy with it, so he's like, "Fuck it, I'll just wrestle in this one, and you can rip it because it sucks." You know what I mean? Like every now and then,
I can see that. Yeah, like it could maybe blur his vision or something like that, or hinder his breathing. That's why
expensive.
That was literally my first thought when he cut the mask. I'm like, God damn, Mason, you're gonna have to pay for that. Like, I'd be so pissed if I was Fuego. Yeah, that's a good point. Selling the mask back to the fan, you could buy 2 fans for that price. That's actually a pretty good, pretty smart move. And
so this came up. This came up while you were talking. I just want to come back to it. Great One said this was certainly a bizarre choice to essentially write off Charles Mason for a bit of time when you're also trying to foreshadow the eventual Mason versus Oliver match. Is there more to this? Short answer, yes. It's just a matter of how long we get it, kind of thing there. A Great One also says Fuego can easy make double the mask cost selling the mask to a fan. Yep. That's what you were just saying too. Like that's
I stole it from Great One when he's wrote that. Like that's probably how he does it. He definitely doesn't care at all.
I'll come back to that message in a minute, DJ. So Richard fucked over Mason, possibly unintentionally, and Mason isn't happy. He pushes Richard. Richard pushes back. Pero then comes in the ring and he yells at Richard, then turns around and grabs Mason by the throat. Fans blew up after that one. A huge choke slam on Mason and the fans went nuts. Looked like it's over for Rich and Powerful. Richard said he's different than Mason. He's weak. Richard holds a knife in a freezer bag. Charles, is this yours? Cops enter the ring and arrest him for murder. One of the cops looked like they would be related to Brandon Kirk. So it looks like the alliance between Richard and Pero continues, but it looks like Charles Mason is out. So what were your thoughts about that part too? Because it looks like, okay, so first of all, we possibly have a new team running around.
Yeah, I think this is what they were trying to do months ago when Holiday first came back. Like when Holiday came back, he was like, "Hey, I'm not fucking with you, Mason. Like we're not like that no more." And then ultimately, that's what happened. But I think this is where they're going now with the storyline. I think is where they wanted to go months ago, and I'm very interested to see where it happens. I did not expect anything like that. Cops and arresting Mason. I was shocked. I laughed. Like that was good. I'm finally glad he literally gave him the most embarrassment ever.
Great one said it right here. They did arrest me. They arrested Mason for possession of a fucking murder weapon, which is funny because Mason didn't. Well, yeah. Look whose pocket it came out of. Did they just let him like have a weapon and like here you go, dude?
He said he found it at his house. He found it at the house where he takes the poor people. And at that house, I know that is where Slade hides. I really wish that they both would have got arrested at the same time to kind of further Slade's badass. Like even just to bring Slade back for one night would have been kind of cool. But the bag of photos of Dexter scenes was evident. I liked it though, but yeah, someone said that is interesting. Where they like maybe Jordan's going to be out for a while. Like I hate to say it, unfortunately, it's not going to be like he's going to be back by the end of the year. I think he's gone for the end of this year. I really hope maybe he gets healthy enough to make a cool surprise return at Collective, and that would be fucking awesome. As for me as a Jordan fan in Vegas, I really hope that's the case. But I think he's going to be out for a while, so I think this is a good way to have the good time to have this feud with Richard Holiday for Mason to kind of hold them over till Jordan does come back. I don't like the heel turn, like not a double heel turn, but like they made the turn just to stay heel, which was kind of shocking to me. Like with that pop and the way that the crowd reacted, I was really kind of thinking and hoping that this would be like kind of a face team of Pero and Holiday, which would be something different for them. But it feels like they're kind of doing, it's going to be the same team, just now without Mason. So it kind of feels like it's stagnant, in my opinion, when it could have done something new. So that was my one kind of complaint with it, where it's like, I just wish that Holiday didn't make them kind of stay heel. I wish they would have kind of pushed it and maybe used Pero and Mason or Holiday as a baby face. But who knows where they'll go from here. It was crazy. It was shocking, but I was smiling at the end just to see Mason get arrested in front of everybody. And that was fun.
It reminds me of a movie where someone pulls out a bag and it rolls down and they're like, are these your drugs? It kind of, you know what I mean? Like a big old bag of Coke. And he's like, is this your drugs? DJ just said this could possibly be a chance to bring in the Cold-Blooded Killers from Hog when Mason is ready to come back. And Cold-Blooded Killers were already mass goons for Mason a while back. It could happen. I just say it could happen. Anything's possible until we know any better. So, all right here. Yeah, that's all I had to say about that one. 13.5-minute match. Not bad.
Yeah, like I think the ending was the big, obviously, talking point there and shocking, but I hope it doesn't overshadow what Fuego did. Like Fuego got a huge win, and that's a rivalry win there for Fuego. So I do hope he kind of uses that momentum and can kind of get a bigger name and bigger matches coming down the line for him as well. All right, our next matchup was John Wayne Murdoch. I can't say that last name. Murdoch going against Prize City OG Alec Price.
All right, so the Prize City OG Alec Price is out first.
I didn't see you had it written there with the first line.
No. And huge Alec Price chance as he circles the ring. You know what I wish he was wearing that I mentioned earlier? That Cole Radrick jersey. John Wayne Pussy is out next. I'll say it for you. He had an awesome match the previous night with Big F and Joe. Alec is 25 years old. Murdoch has been wrestling 21 years. So before little Alec started kindergarten. I didn't expect to see Alec in this type of a match, which I think was fantastic. Again, looking ahead, I wonder if they're doing this so that in case there's a tag team run, they can handle a hardcore match, which kind of makes sense because our tag team champs always go through those kind of matches. That's kind of par for the course. Even Bussy went through a hardcore phase. So that Los Macizos match was killer. So Murdoch leaves the ring immediately once the bell rings. Alec answers with a tope and follows up by running up a fan for a DDT. Alec pulls out the first door. Murdoch has a killer flatliner. The John Wayne Pussy chant starts up. Alec hits a half and half, hits 2 running boots, and one more time because he's trash for 3. Alec grabbed that door from earlier, and Murdoch runs right into it, knocking down Alec. There's a hole in the door where Alec's head went through. The door is then laid on the bottom rope. Murdoch goes for a top rope brain buster, and instead Alec delivers a double stomp on Murdoch through the door. Murdoch requests a pane of glass be brought to the ring. He gets his wish. Murdoch then picks up Alec and hits a brain buster through the glass. Alec is dripping blood. You could see it obviously on his elbow and then raising up on his back. Murdoch hits a destroyer. Alec with a blockbuster. Murdoch hits a low blow and a roll up and a handful of tights for 3. Our winner here, John Wayne Murdoch. John tells the camera he's the best fucking deathmatch wrestler in the world. Alec Price got seriously cut up on his back and elbow. They play his music out. His back's fucked up. And he came out of here looking like a champ. Less than 10 minutes. I'd have to say it was a great match by both men.
Oh, yeah. I wrote here, this was going to be a big contrast of styles coming into this one, but John Wayne Murdoch can do any style. And this was a really good matchup as Reed here. I kind of agree there. I loved how John Wayne Murdoch did the in-ring wrestling for a while. And then when he realized, hey, I can't win this way. I have to go back to my old roots and get ultra violent and putting Alec through the table for the win, through the glass for the win. I love that. Like just kind of like that psychology of that match. I hated Alec getting the loss here again, just like I said, to build that momentum. Like right again, like boom, it gets cut right away after one win. But I really think Alec did show something here and elevated his status here. He showed like, I don't think he's going to do it like full time. It's kind of like how Jordan did it. Like, hey, he did that one crazy no barbed wire death match. He did a couple other stuff in VXS, but nothing that was that really crazy as we saw. And I don't expect Alec to get that much crazier again. But for him to be able to show the fans like, hey, I could bleed for this shit too. And look at, I'm going to put my body through hell for you guys. I thought that was really, really cool. And and I just liked how most of that match was not hardcore. It was just in ring, but it just showed that John Wayne Murdoch had to get deep into his playbook to win. And you mentioning that years of experience, that just kind of goes along with my psychology. Like that was that boom. That's him going to the next level playbook where Alec Price not yet there in his career yet to kind of go in there. But now with this match and getting bloody, maybe now next match or next time he needs to flip a new page, he will get hardcore and extreme and ultra violent. And we might see a little bit something, but other than that, great match from both competitors. I just really wish Alec would have won, but I gained a lot more respect seeing Alex's back that next night, as we were talking about earlier. This one glass spot caused all that damage. Was like his back looked like Jun Kasai's back already after one spot. I was like, holy shit! Like that was just insane. After one back bump on the table had that much damage was nuts.
Yeah, DJ said my friend when he saw the glass said, "No way, Alec is going through that."
I thought
John Wayne's going through it. 2 minutes later, he goes through. I want to back up here because we skipped a message for us. Reed Harris, I zoned out. Did we mention how hot Para looked? Actually, what I will mention, because I love color, the red and white hair that he had, I thought was pretty cool, and it matched his outfit. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. Good 10-minute match.
Yes, that was like I said, I didn't expect that glass, but it was awesome to see. All right, next match that we were talking about earlier tonight was for the JCW title as Masha Slamovich defends it against the Megasis Megan Bayne.
Oh boy, here we go. So we see Megan Bayne through the curtain first. She's looking just as fresh as ever, which is surprising after eating a 15-foot high moonsault and battery. Megan has definitely earned this title shot. Masha is out proudly displaying her JCW World Championship over her shoulder. I feel this matchup could have been built more, being that both are extremely popular, both are deadly in different ways, both could carry that title, and both could defend it appropriately. Given booking, this is one of Masha's biggest defenses and one of Megan's biggest matches of her GCW career. This should have had more build and a lot more promos. We had chance of new champ going on in the crowd, right up against the Masha chance, back and forth. There was a big stare down between both. Megan showed dominance early with her strength. We always talk strength and we forget about Megan's stamina. I just wanted to say that it's more impressive to see her hit that fall away slam in minute 12, because most wouldn't have the gas to do it. So I just wanted to acknowledge for a moment, we do talk about her strength, but it's more about the fact that she has gas in minute 12 or 14 to start throwing people over her head. And I think that's what really humans know how much a person has, and when they see them go above and beyond, wrestling fans are like, whoa, that person has their shit together. I put here that there was no true dominant set of minutes for either wrestler. It was a real back and forth, including trading 2 counts with each other. There was a nasty wheelbarrow position German suplex from the ground to over her head. It was just power move after power move for both. Neither was running around or doing anything fancy. They literally brawled toe to toe. Megan went for her big spear and Masha wrapped her up and into a headlock. That got reversed into a tombstone. Just as senior referee Adam Galt was about to count 3, Steph DeLander, of course, runs from the back and pulled him out of the ring. He gets back in. SDL gets on the apron, starts arguing with Bane. They're pushing each other back and forth. Adam is telling SDL to get the fuck out of the ring. SDL then starts walking away, yelling, "Fuck you, Megan. And fuck you too, Adam." Megan turns around and eats a big boot from Masha. She slaps in the chokehold, and the Megasis has been defeated. SDL is standing at the curtain, bowing to everyone for the work she just did. Our winner here was Masha Slamovich. And I'm asking, would this be considered a clean win for a face?
See, I'm gonna go. I think Prazak was the one who made this comment, and I'm very glad he did. It was like, hey, it was. I think Veda Scott was on the commentary for this match as well. One of them made a comment of like, hey, I think SDL came out more to screw over Megan than to help Masha Slamovich. So Masha had nothing to do with it. So I think that's what kind of keeps her away from that maybe teasing the heel or anything like that. I thought the commentary was a great way to answer that question that I didn't know was coming up, but for me, I think that explains it the best.
Yeah, I was just wondering because there was interference. Like, I don't know if that's really a clean win for a face. You know what I mean? And go ahead.
I hope it leads to a rematch with hopefully like everyone barred from ringside or whatever, like a straight just one-on-one match. I was so happy with this match. It was such high quality. Great wrestling, like as you said, it was back and forth, a lot of power moves, a lot of great strikes, a lot of like tension too, like of Megan trying to get for the title. Like she's like, I think they had to remind us again, like, hey, this one is for the title, so like there is something on the line here. So that's why like Masha's fighting to keep that belt. I just really enjoyed this match for what it was, and as you said, I think if it was built up, we had more emotions going into it. I thought that would set this up to a way another level, but I kind of hope that this does turn into a feud after this, and maybe keep SDL the hell out of it. I don't want to see her wrestling in the ring at all. Like, no offense, like in the ring, give me Megan versus Masha. SDL could do some other stuff with deathmatch royalty, but that was the one thing that did piss me off though. This match was like, it was such a good match and it got fucking ruined by STL, but that goes into the perfect character that gets the heat that they get. So I get it. But as a fan, I was just like, oh, like, and I was kind of maybe hoping like this would be Megan's chance. Like, let's get a big, other than just a world title with only 2 or 3 titles being defended all fucking weekend. Let's get a big title change happening and get somebody big momentum and get the fans talking. Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
There really wasn't a title change this weekend. There wasn't one, really.
Yeah, that's interesting. Kind of where by the end of the night and end of night too, that's what I was kind of thinking of. I'm like, man, there was a lot of cool things happen, but nothing really kind of starts anew. Like I get you want to end everything on this week, but I was really hoping for some stuff to start new. Like how I was saying at the collective, like there was hardly any title changes there too. It's just like this should be the time to build into your next big show coming up here, which is, I don't know, NGI, and start building towards NGI. And I think that's where they're going to start doing now with all these names and people that for Ultraviolent are in the States. And I'm cool with them getting all the stories. But for me, like that was kind of the one thing I was missing throughout this whole week. And I think that kind of, for me, made this weekend a little dull, in my opinion, as there was no like new things to think of going into it. We just kind of got to wait and see. So it was more finishing and finalizing everything that has already been established.
Reed Harris says, I want SDL out of every match myself. Yeah, Tight Spot says, we don't know what is going. No, we don't know what is going on with Nick, and we just see what we see publicly. And yeah, we kind of gave a quick opinion on it, but again, I felt like my opinion was more of a fact. So I don't have a better way to put that. Sorry. Alrighty, we did that one.
All right. Match 7 was another title match, as it was for the GCW tag team titles, as the Violence is Forever defends it against Los Macizos. I'm gonna try to fight tears back on this one.
Hey, this was okay. Yeah, this was. I'm not kidding. Grown man shit. Both of us are like, please don't do that. Like, I know they're working together because they're brothers, but it's like, I see the upside. This could be another tournament situation where, you know, we have a nice deep run. Also, this just might be these two going at it. And I think
that's why I'm like this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm heartbroken they're breaking up, but holy shit, if I get a feud with these two, or then as like I said, Wrestling with Kindness, I saw he had made a great point. If it just adds more talent into the deathmatch scene, and if we can replenish that and start building that up for NGI, I'm for the breakup. It makes sense. And if you're going to do something with both of them, then I'm cool with that. And with this breakup happening, and I'm actually kind of excited for it. I know it's weird to say.
Hey, it's okay though. Yeah, Los Macizos music hits and out come both teams already fighting with each other. If this was to just kind of keep time, then I think it was a good call. If otherwise, I would have loved backstage footage of the start of this fight. They could have also brawled from somewhere in the crowd area and worked their way forward to the ring. You got to remember, GCW fans love ECW style crowd brawls. It would have made for a hotter start. Macizos are out in their Cal gear, some of my favorite. Violence is Forever look like they lost their gear. One example, Guarini is wrestling in skinny jeans and a shirt from the Saltriali's pork store. It's good to see dressed up for GCW's biggest night. Everyone else is wearing special gear and masks, and Violence is Forever is dressed for a bar fight at Circle 6. Again,
I would have stopped it without those last two. If you didn't say those last two words, that's where I'm like, hey, they came dressed ready for a fight. I don't know about what you said after that, but they came ready for a fight. That's why I was like, oh, we're gonna get the ultra violent death match or Violence is Forever. So I was really excited at that point.
Okay, honestly, if they came in like that and it turned into a total street fight, it fits. Street fight fits, you know what I mean? So doors and chairs are finally getting introduced to the match. A door bridge is built and Kevin Koo goes through it. Dominic with a nasty chair shot to Miedo that made a sound that audibly echoed and picked up on camera. Brant's favorite plastic bins were being used. Ciclope's head was placed on some bins. He moves and Kevin puts his body through a bunch of them. Miedo gives Dominic a receipt with a stiff shot from a plastic bin that instantly explodes into a million pieces. Ciclope goes for the hot tag and Miedo drops down from the apron so he can't get tagged in. Ciclope is getting beat on by Violence is Forever after his brother turned his back. He's hit with a nasty light tube bundle and a Chasing the Dragon 4-3. Our winners here, Violence is Forever. I'll stop right there for a minute. And I don't know if you noticed, there was that real stiff headshot or chair shot on Miedo. That's why he hit him so fucking hard with that plastic bin minutes later. If you go back and watch, Guarini popped Miedo good with the shot was audibly loud. And then a minute or so later, if you go watch, Miedo swings a bin on Dominic and the fucking bin just blows into shreds. It's hilarious.
And that's why I've been loving like that. I love the bins because as DJ Luda said, you don't realize how those bins like broke like that. Like you still get the glass shattering sound of the plastic bin over someone's head. You still get the pieces flying over. You just kind of don't get the little blood, but you got some big chunks of some bad shit happening. So I get why they don't use it as much, but the violence is still there. And I want to ask like people that were there, like the sound of it, like, and the feeling. Did you get the same feeling of seeing a tube other than a light tube on someone else's head, other than just not seeing that person bleed? Like, did it give you the same feeling? Because for me, that's what I've been asking for. Give me that same feeling of a light tube and the sound and the ooh and the shit flying everywhere in UCC Center to make up for the lack of light tubes and all that shit. Like, and I don't know what the deal with the bins are. I know they could cause bigger chunks and a lot more shit could happen. But other than that, I don't see the negative of starting to use those in UCC to make up for the fact you can't use glass, because I still think you get the same sound, the same impact, you still get the same fans' visceral reaction of, oh, shit, and then you see the big chunks flying everywhere instead of the spooky dust. So, yeah, the great one, I was there too. That's what I'm talking about. The one that, when Chris Brooks was like flying through those tubes and like knocking people, like those, they were making loud light tube sounds, loud crunching sounds. You just don't get the spooky dust or blood. But for in the moment, I feel like, oh shit, I got the same like kind of scaredness. Like,
we need mega blocks. Oh my god. And Great One mentioned something here. He said Violence is Forever not getting their entrance was probably a good thing to ensure they aren't getting the pops from the sing along on such a pivotal moment to have them heels for the face team breakup, which is 100% dead on. Or at least I agree.
No, that was right, because I wrote in my notes. I'm like, God, like the terminal got screwed out of hearing Zombie, and like that took they took that moment away from them. But that like I didn't even think about that, and that makes 1,000% their Great One, and that changes my mind of like that's why I didn't even bring it up, because that makes total sense now. This match was violent. It was good. I loved it. It did feel like some receipts were being thrown and shot out there. I don't know. I just don't kind of like the booking of the Vasisos going into this title match and how they split up. I get the split up of him just dumping out. Like, why even go out there and fight with your partner then for that 10 minutes and put your body through it and just to give up the title shot? Like, that part didn't make any sense. But yeah, I know we'll talk about that at the end here. But what happens at the end here was the thing.
Teasing a storyline break before a major title shot kind of made everyone, because I did a poll on who do you want to see win between Violence is Forever and Los Macisos, and everyone picked Violence is Forever based on the fact that Los Macisos were storyline falling apart for the last 3 shows. I would have held that off until after this match. I would have taken Violence is Forever over Los Macisos, and Miedo goes, you know what? This fucking loss is your fault. We used to be winners. And then that's where we would have had and the reason why I would have had it there was to not create any doubt going into this match that this was just going to be a fuck it match. We already knew that they weren't going to get the titles because we already knew they're teasing a fight. What's the point? Don't let us doubt the match going into it. Go ahead and give us that afterwards. And again, I'm just one opinion there.
I 100% agree with you. That's my whole thing with this booking. Like, you could have done 0 teases and like have that the way that like the night 1 ended, how Ciclope hit Miedo, knocked him off, then Ciclope take the L. Then you have Miedo come in, like, fuck you. That was like one of our last chances. We just came back and you took the L. Like, and then start the fight there, and it would have been a huger reaction. I would have been more into this match, as you said, of not knowing who's going to win. Maybe Macisos has the chance to regain that gold and go back to the glory that I love him in. That you said it perfectly. I think that's what I didn't like, and that's what I was complaining about earlier. Why take the loss before the night before you're getting a world title shot? Yeah. Why not throw those 2 people in? Like, that booking didn't make sense. But I agree with what right here too. What Great One said here. They had to do it here. The CISOs have peaked in the tag division. There's not much other anything else for them to do that has not been done there. I would love to see Miedo kind of go after the ultraviolet and get into the world title scene. I think his matches with Speedball was main event quality level in Vegas that we saw with no fuckery. That was just a straight singles one-on-one match, and he showed he could do that match. We know he could do death match. He's now got this pretty strong heel character. I think I can't wait to see what he does as a heel. Like, I want to see the monster and the mean and nasty Miedo. And I would love to see Ciclope kind of move there to the Extreme title, and maybe the ultraviolet title at some point down the line too for Miedo. But I think they both could fit into those title scenes, and that will be right into a good spot for them, separated and in tag divisions now in their own storylines that could come back together at some point, as you said, possibly an NGI, meet up in the finals or something again. I don't know, but I am kind of happy with them being broken up, while personally kind of selfishly heartbroken that I won't see them smiling and laughing like the 2 loves, like that. I think that's they're one of the reasons I think I really like. This is a company I love. Like, just like Drew Parker, they just show in the ring and show the fans like how much they really love GCW and what they've done, what GCW has done for them. So I think them breaking up for me was a piece of my old GCW fandom kind of breaking as well. So got the green going now, huh?
Why not? Let's try some green. I got a little green in my homemade shirt. I'm going to go with what Frank said right here. He's feeling with all the peeps is the same. It was a total giveaway match. On the biggest stage that you have right there, you really shouldn't be telegraphing that static. They could have a death match during the NGI if they can stretch it out that long. And that's what you were saying, Brand. I 100% agree. If they can stretch it that long, I don't know how they're going to make that interesting, because for some reason I feel like any issues they're going to have with each other are going to be totally internal, which means it's going to be really hard for them to sell that storyline unless they stay in tag teams and keep fighting. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to go, because he walked off on his partner. So unless they meet up and keep talking shit with each other, I'm trying to figure how one is going to affect the other.
I see Ciclope being put in a singles match against John Wayne Murdoch, and it's going to be a death match. And then near the end, Miedo comes out, beats the shit out of Ciclope, and I think that's how. Like, then maybe we get Miedo to speak for the first time and kind of say something to explain his actions. Maybe he could just verbally do it on Twitter. I don't know. I'm interested to hear the response though. I was almost tempted to say like Miedo, like I was going to tweet him like when he was saying that, like I'm on to a new chapter of my life. I was almost like in me like fuck you like kind of thing, but like I don't want him to like actually get mad and like think I really hate him and stuff. So I'm like, I really do like you still, Miedo, but fuck you. Why you got to break up Ciclope and beat Los Macizos?
Why you got to do your brother like that?
Yeah, that was like, as a tag team, I don't think I felt like that since the Rockers, like of them breaking up like that. That was like, like I really was a giant fan of the Rockers and Shawn Michaels too. So, but as you said, the build up to it happening, it kind of did ease the pain a little bit. But
so here's what we were kind of alluding to. We'll go ahead through it now. After the match, Ciclope is in the ring covered in blood. Miedo helps him to his feet, then kicks him in the nuts, then delivers a super kick to the head. He then puts Ciclope's head on a steel chair and beats him with the other chair. There are huge boos as he kisses Ciclope and walks away. As Miedo walks through the curtain, fans chant Ciclope. Referees come ringside to help him to the back. He wasn't moving that well at all. I have a brother I don't always get along with. This touched my feelings, bro. I'm like, no, don't do that to your brother. But again, they're getting paid well to work together. So as long as they have a job, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them and where they're going to go with this. And it kind of like does like, hey, now I know they made a storyline. We're going to see them more, and especially after not seeing them for a couple months earlier this year. I don't want that kind of fright again of them not seeing them in GCW again for a while. So this keeps them on my TV. I'm happy, and I'm excited to see a new version of Los Macizos. And both of them, I'm interested to see what they do as singles competitors. Next match was a 6-man tag match as the team of Brandon, Kirk, Hoodfoot, and Tremont to go against the British guys. What was the other name? I heard like another name too later on. They gave them like it was some weird name. I couldn't remember.
I'll give you,
but
it is the Bad Boy Killer Crew.
There we go, the Bad Boy Killer Crew, or as they just announced, the British guys: Big F and Joe, Drew Parker, and Lou Nixon.
All right, 13-minute match, death match here. I also go a little bit minute by minute here because this was really the biggest and the last death match on the card for the weekend. There was shit everywhere in this ring: glass plates, doors, chairs, a scaffold, barbed wire, light tubes, you name it. The British guys were out first. It's easy to love a team with a match full of, this is like just faces. This is all faces on both sides. I like the bubbles. I don't know who's doing it, but the American guys get it on their way out, and the fans are singing Journey. What were your thoughts there?
I like the bubbles too. Like, I noticed that like during the night, I love seeing the little bubbles come out. It's like, oh, that's something new that I haven't seen in wrestling.
I like it, and it's soap. I think it could go over the crowd really nicely there. Let me go ahead and get back to this here. I love everyone that was in that ring, so I'll just go ahead and say that now. My mind was trying to fathom how much violence is capable to be had in that ring. As Dave Prazak said here, Dan Perch, good luck, buddy. Perch got this. Perch did a damn good job in this one. With all 6 men, I would still pick Big F and Joe as the best pick for an ultraviolent champion right now. In some people, you can see personality really well, and I just feel like he has it. The opening minutes, here we go. There were huge GCW chants. Tremont versus Big Joe started off. That's just a bloodbath waiting to happen. Tremont with a drop kick, very rare drop kick. He's blown up and tags in Hoodfoot. Of course, I'm joking. Hoodfoot enters the match, and Hoodfoot chants, of course, start breaking out in the crowd. He pulls off the triple do-rag move. He was wearing 3 of them. Lou Chance start to also break out from his faithful. Drew and Kirk are now tagged in. Minute 3, Big Joe sends Brandon Kirk through the first pane of glass. Everyone now gets in the ring, and the tag rules have broken down. Drew launched by his teammates onto Team America below. Minute 4, there's a water jug covered in tacks being used on Traymont's forehead. Joe then kicks him in the ass with it. There have been no tag rules at all here. The brawling is mostly outside the ring. We have split screen. Thanks, Ash. Action everywhere, and it was hard to keep up. Minute 5, Nixon was attempting to pull out something from his elbow. Have no idea what it was. A tube fight is going down. The American guys bust 2 bundles on all of the British guys' heads. Minute 6, they're all getting forks in the forehead. They keep going to all sides of the ring. I feel like it would have been better if each guy just took a person to each side of the ring. They could have gotten 3 sides done at one time. Hoodfoot's leaking blood. We have at minute 7, ouch, we have forks in the ass. Nixon is kicking Traymont's chest. Traymont answers by slamming him onto glass. Traymont's busted open. Somehow Parker is still clean after the forking Black Abdullah just gave him. Minute 8, I spoke too soon. Traymont now has a light tube battle with him, and the fight has basically collapsed into some bullshit. Overheard Hoodfoot saying to Big Joe, ouch, you fucking tea-drinking bastard. Minute 9, Parker and Traymont are climbing up the scaffold. As Traymont is climbing, Joe hits him with a bundle of tubes, and Traymont falls onto a stack of doors to a holy shit chant from the crowd. Hoodfoot pulled Parker off the scaffold. Joe and Brandon face off. Brandon gets kicked into the tubes, and Joe busts the tube bundle into Joe's face. Minute 10, Nixon launched into tubes set up in a corner. Brandon and Parker are in a fist fight in the middle of the ring. Minute 11, Joe is covering Traymont indoors and beating them with a chair. Drew had a senton onto Brandon Kirk. He kicks out at 2. Drew climbs onto the scaffold, and everyone else is fighting ringside. Minute 12, Drew hits a huge swanton. He misses Brandon Kirk when he moves out of the way. There are GCW chants from the fans. Joe is choking Hoodfoot while Nixon kicks him. In the ring, Brandon and Drew are having a match. He busts tubes in Brandon's chest. Minute 13, he holds Drew's legs after that kick. Drew is stunned. Brandon stands up and connects with the Psycho Driver for 3. Our winner here was Team USA, Brandon Kirk, Hoodfoot, and Matt Traymont. I feel like these guys put it all out there. There was plenty of deathmatch talent that I felt gave us an unforgivable match.
Yeah, I loved it. I got real quick. I asked you a question though. On your notes, you wrote Black Abdullah. Who are you talking about there?
That's Traymont.
Okay, good. I want to make sure you. I don't want to make sure you remember that stuff. I was like, when I saw Black Abdullah, I was like, and then I saw like on your notes, I saw Hoodfoot there. I'm like, wait a minute, is this supposed to be Traymont? But I must have misread it. That was funny. Wow. That was funny in your notes to see that. That was a good one. Yeah, I loved it all. I agree right here with Great One when he said Parker taking the pin for Kirk. I think that just shows you like what kind of person he is, what kind of wrestler he is, how much he appreciated Brandon Kirk stepping up and filling in for Nick Gage and giving him a hell of a match on his return match. So give him the return favor the next night. That's why I love Drew. That was a really cool thing. It could maybe possibly lead to a feud, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Seeing all these names, it does get me excited. Back to for NGI season coming up, deathmatch tournament. It was bloody. It was that was all the great talent in it. This was a homecoming death match. I loved it. It was perfect. 13 minutes? I was kind of expecting one of those 6-minute bangers, like how they did in the UK, just boom, 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 and done. But I'm glad they kind of just dragged it out. Like they had a really good bunch of variety spots there with the deathmatch stuff going. And yeah, I liked seeing Brandon Kirk getting the victory for them. Seeing Hoodfoot back in the terminal, back in GCW was always a good sight for me to see. And that was like one of those fan friendly makeup matches. Like, let's get them in a good mood and get their graces back. And every single one of them delivered a fantastic match. One guy I haven't seen much of that kind of stood out to me in this match was Lou Nixon. Lou Nixon, I haven't seen much of him. I've heard his name. I heard a lot of people get excited. I have seen him a little bit on like some of the indie TV shows. I've seen a couple matches of his, and I had like I'm listening to it just like kind of there, no audio, but seeing him like work with GCW talent in this setting and this environment, I definitely want to see a lot more of him in GCW, and hopefully we could get him for an upcoming tournament because I was impressed with Lou Nixon this time around.
Let's see here. Yeah, I think I put it all on the table with my notes there. I was looking to see if I had one more thing, but Frank said it was the match of the weekend for him, and I don't know if I really looked at them all, but I'd tell you that's in my top 2, unless there's something I didn't remember. So,
yeah, that was a definitely bloodbath. I enjoyed it. Next match is a 8-person tag match, as it is a team of Manders, Sawyer Wreck, Sheik, and Effie going against the Bob Squad. Bobby Flacco, Braden Toon, Drake. I'm losing my
Hunter
mind.
Drake.
Hunter Drake
and Mr. Danger.
And Mr. Danger. Real fast before you go to notes, I took this in my notes and I had to take it out once this match came. I forgot who it was earlier, night one. That is a name I haven't seen in a while, and I was just like, it made me wonder, where's Brandon Toon been? I feel like we haven't seen him on the last couple, like maybe months, like 2 months, maybe, or the last 5 or 6 shows. But I'm like, I literally took that out there. I'm like, I haven't seen Brandon Toon in a while. I want to see it, but then like the next night I see that, I'm like, gotta erase it. I got my Brandon Toon in, and that was a little cool thing for me too. Like I kind of miss seeing him. Another name, like along with that, I wrote Axton Ray, but I don't have no idea what the hell's going on with Axton Ray. We haven't seen him in a long ass time, but he was just one dude I was really into, and he's not into like on social media a lot ever. So I don't know if he's still wrestling, maybe for other little companies. He's got like a bigger job. He doesn't wrestle as much, but that was him and Toon were just 2 names I wrote there. Like I haven't seen in a while, and I would really love to see back in GCW. And I got half of it at least with Brady Toon in this match.
Yeah, both are deceptive big guys. Maybe that's where you kind of thought Axton kind of fit into, these big guys that can fucking go. And
Axton was one of those first people. Like I very rarely, after the first time I see a wrestler, I'm like, that's a guy I like. He was one of them, and I kind of miss him. Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. Someone said he kind of does like to stay in his area, doesn't like to travel too much. So that's cool. At least he's still staying active. Maybe we can see him in GCW again down the line.
And you got to respect that. Guy knows his boundaries.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not running all the way across the world for, whatever.
And real fast, speaking on that, Stackhouse. Every time I see this man after a show send his picture of his damn map of a 19-hour, 1,900-mile drive coming up, I don't know how that man does it. I could not drive for 20 hours after a show, going to a show. Man, he just drives, and he just got the dedication. And I'm so glad to see all that hard work that he does, like outside the scenes, get rewarded in the ring for him.
Yep. DJ Luda right here. Same with you. 20-hour drives. I'm trying to figure out how to make money out of that job. You know what I mean? Because honestly, gas is so expensive to travel 16 hours across or 20 hours across the country. You're talking a full tank of gas is what, every 4, 5, 6 hours, depending upon how fast you're going. That gets expensive real quick. And he's filling up off of the highways. You know what I mean? Where it's real expensive, like the exits.
And does he have I thought I saw he have a big truck too? So
he has a good sized truck. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lot of gas there.
And Reed may be right here. It might be more comfortable than dealing with fucking 2 plane seats. Maybe even, who knows?
That's what I was thinking of why he does it too. But just the dedication just to sit there and do it. Because I know when he talked with us that he does these drives all the time. And I think he did say he used to be a driver. So that's why he's kind of used to it. So that kind of makes sense to it. But there's still, every time I see him post those pictures, I'm like, you fucking madman, dude.
Yeah. When he was in the interview with us, he was saying he's a long hauler by trade. And this really doesn't bug him versus other people. How, I'm ready to crack after 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, if it's alone, I can go a little longer just because podcasts get me through. You know what I mean? I'll throw on some wrestling podcasts and I'm cool until the next bathroom break. Okay, so Bob Squad. I kind of like that name. Also, to me, that's a New South faction. Flacco, Toon, Drake, and Danger.
Yep.
So I don't hate that exactly. And I like that they're at least trying something. Plus, Bob Squad's just a fun name.
Yeah.
Manders, Sheik, Effie, and Sawyer out next. Manders was a dancing fool out there. He was having a good old time. He was doing Sheik's little, like his little So it was fun watching the Cowboy do that. Bob Squad jumped Effie's team before the bell. They came out hot and dominated the first few minutes of the match. Sheik was the one that started the rally back for Effie's team. Bob came off the top rope and ate a nasty big boot from Sawyer. Bob Squad was getting heat. I do like the possibilities. I feel like Sawyer and Sheik should form their own team. Manders established some dominance in the match. No lie, there was just a lot going on here. Sawyer covered for a pin by all 4 members and kicks out at 1. Drake then hit a huge 450 on Effie and Manders. Danger then connects with a 450 on Effie. Sawyer grabs Drake and Danger, hits a double choke slam for the win. Our winners here, Manders, Rex, Sheik, and Effie. And it's so funny. My next note says Sheik was jumping and catching bubbles and eating them. And I love the bubbles. I need a bubble maker. I'm in now. I kind of like that idea. It's safe. There's no troubles. When you're high, it looks magical. Or it does to me, at least.
Yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No. I was going to make sure you had a chance to breathe because I have my next note there and I don't want to go further until you had a chance to talk it out.
I didn't take much notes here. I wrote, it was awesome seeing all the people on the Bomb Squad back in GCW. I feel like they have a place in my heart, at least in GCW. I do like how often they show up. They always provide something different. Some of them seem to travel to the show and hope to get on the card even and just be given the opportunity. So it's real, like just like Stackhouse, I'm glad to see people working hard and off the scenes and not in front of every fan and kind of getting their hard work rewarded for GCW. And the Bob Squad, definitely those 4 are great young talents that we enjoy seeing, and we see growth every single time. And yeah, the Manders, Rex, Sawyer, Sheik, and Effie team was just dominant. And this was another one of those fun matches to get the crowd back on the happy side for Homecoming, and a nice big win for Manders, Rex, Sheik, and Effie.
All right. So here we go. Shane Mercer enters the ring, which I honestly thought on night 1, Shane Mercer would have been the one to go in with Parker, just because Shane on several occasions has stepped into that spot. But yeah, Shane Mercer enters the ring and tries to fuck with Drake. Flacco stands up for him, gets destroyed. Toon enters the ring and Shane destroys him also. Finally, Mercer picks up Drake and launches him several rows into the seats down there. He grabs Danger and Flacco on the top rope and hits the very slimmest of moonsault and batteries that you could really ask for. I honestly thought that he may have landed partially on his head off to the side when he did the flip. I swear he's trying to see how much he can do that before he breaks his fucking neck. I still think it was an unbelievable feat, and that's his trick, man, and he does it well. So good job, but I think this is like the 8th time I've seen him have someone or multiple people in his arms and go, he ain't making that moonsault, and he still just fucking knocks it out.
What did he have on it? Like he had like a big dude and did a moonsault battery, and like I thought there was no way he could do it on someone that size. Like he's just so impressive every time he does it. That one with the Megan Bain the night before, I think Emma was the one, like how, and you mentioned in your notes how high they bounced off of that moonsault battery was fucking insane. Like that would have been a great call too of Drew Parker versus Mercer to fill in. Like, yeah, Mercer's one I want to see in there and get some big things. I want to see Mercer versus like Manders interviewed. Like that kind of feeds along with what was going on with Blake and Effie and all that people kind of going with each other and stuff. So yeah, Mercer was impressive, and that moonsault battery every time is just impressive. But with 2 people was crazy.
Frank's already making plans. We're going to be terrors with those bubble guns, collective high. That's happening. That's happening. Actually, I might double gun it with both hands. I don't know what. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So this has been one of those colorful nights. DJ Luda, I think after the match when we're saying, you need to settle down over there, my friend. I was the one telling the joke. And started beating the Bob Squad. I said the JCW roster is now dead. Now that is an interesting point that he said right there. Yep, that was a continuation from the JCW show. Mercer
okay.
took his time getting both dudes in position and yeah. So this was a continuation of JCW from that midnight.
That makes sense. Cool. I didn't, like I said, I didn't see the JCW show yet, so that makes sense of why that happened. Because like I didn't understand unless he was just coming out to get on the card and show his dominance, and I was actually expecting Blake to come out to fucking curb stomp everybody and complain about the night before. That's what I was. When I saw Mercer come out, that was my original thoughts.
So because it was a special night, I would have had George South come out and save the Bob Squad from Mercer.
Yeah, that would have been cool. The New South.
I know it sounds fun and colorful, but it would have been unexpected. It would have been a New South guy, and he would have been like, "You're not fucking with my kids." So you see what I'm saying? Reed. Again, this is me playing with someone else's money.
Sorry, Reed, real fast. You were talking about all those names that were wrestling, like seemed like they had multiple death matches on Friday night, or maybe John. Was there I don't know what tournament? Like, was there a tournament Friday night or a death match card that I don't know about that they were on? Because if all those talents were on there, I'd check that out because that's what I want to start seeing talent like that in death matches.
I'm not 100% sure, but I know that if you have a chance, you need to check out King of the Kill 2. Yeah, write that one down. Again, I'm not getting paid either way. It's on IWTV and it's killer. It'll be nice that you can fast forward because it's good that you can fast forward too, because a little bit of that King of the Kill 2 show has what's it called? It has like a band. It has a couple bands playing here and there just to kind of kill time between everything. So I figured it's worth it. Let me see if I can tell you
all those names. I was just like, that would be interesting if all those names wrestled a couple nights prior that I had no idea about. I want to see where they're going, because like I said, I'm always still on the look right now for more death matches and finding new names and stuff like that.
Well, this is through Ruthless Pro Wrestling. Here's the first round. I'll give you the eight competitors. You ready?
I've actually got them like bookmarked on my thing. Like they got some like really good cards. Yeah. What's the card?
Dude, first round, Schlack versus Jeff King. First round, Otis Kogar versus Matt Tremont. First round, Dr. Redacted versus Lou Nixon. And the last first round is Judge Joe Dredd versus Casanova Valentine. So I have to say that's a pretty good first round.
I think I got that one on there, or I watched like one right before that one. But
it's one of my favorites as
a company.
Yeah, they're a good company. I was just going to say it's one of my favorites because number one, it's an outside venue where I can see like the grass and the trees and shit. But number two, I love when a show starts in the daytime and ends at the nighttime. I love that dusk into the, I don't know, something about it. Just feels special. So they had it there.
Check it out.
Yep. I'll say with Reed, man, KOTK2 was nuts. Yeah, that's the one I know. I'm sure that a couple other people know the other shows, but that's the one that stuck out to me. I know that Wrestling Revolver worked noon
Thursday, right? Oh, they worked Friday too.
They worked the same show as day one for GCW. Like it was the weirdest thing. They did a 12 o'clock show. Yeah. And then let's just say GCW kicked off at 4 or 5. I can't remember. Wrestling Revolver also did a show an hour after that. So they had a two for 1 day kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I mean, they're competitors, but it's almost extremely rude not to give each other space.
Hey, we have,
you know what I mean, but they're competitors too. This is not anywhere near the dirty stuff that some companies could do. This is nothing. So they're just running. The only problem is, again, with some of these companies, if they'd understand to give each other space, that would allow the fans to have space to watch these shows without having to fight over it. Why split the independent wrestling crowd? How many of there really is us? It's not a lot. Fuck. We know each other almost. Like we all damn near know each other. So, I look at it like that. But I can talk about that one forever.
No, I just want to get the names. Like I said, like that if all those names are wrestling another night, and I enjoyed all those names, like I want to see what other show and what other possibly new names I could learn on that show, since it seems like it's a kind of company that fits my kind of style.
Hell yeah!
All right, you ready for the main event of night 2 as it's getting close to 11 here?
Fuck yeah, let's do this, man.
All right, the main event of Homecoming Night 2. It was Matt Hardy and Joey Janela filling in for the Nick Gage, going against Deathmatch Royalty, Broski Jimmy, and Matt Cardona.
All right. I'll start it from the beginning here. This is a 20-minute match, of course, with the pomp and circumstance. There's another 10, 15 minutes there. So this was our start. A video plays, and it's Matt walking into a Jurassic Park style entrance that says always ready across the top. The back of his jacket says still here, which is correct. He could be picked up by any time at WWE, but still here. The gates are open. The video cuts and we're back at the terminal. Jurassic Park music plays. Matt, SDL, and Jimmy come through the entrance riding a Jurassic Park Jeep. They're all decked out in green dinosaur-inspired gear, and when they all get in the ring and finally pose, they all put their hands up and growl, which I thought was kind of cool. The Hardys music plays. Out come Matt and Joey. They hit the Hardy poses. Joey is probably in heaven right now being on the Hardys team. The bell rings. Janela starts a fuck Matt Cardona chant. Janela's then chopping Jimmy until he had to turn away from them, which is kind of rare. You've seen the chop situation, right, Brant?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he was popping him to a point to where Jimmy actually turned away, and the last one got Jimmy right in the jaw there. Matt Hardy allowing Janela to do some of Jeff's moves, I thought was kind of classy. We had a Matt fucking Hardy chant. SDL getting involved early by distracting referee Adam Galt. I swear SDL and Adam Galt have a thing. They just don't want to tell anybody about it. You know, like a kid, you know, like in fourth grade. Like a fourth grade, like the boy is picking on the girl kind of thing. I feel like SDL is picking on Adam in some way. Yeah, we better not tell Mance. This match is tooled for Matt. I felt like the tag rules were in place. They were quick tag ins and outs so that he could take a breather if he needed to. Everything was in edible chunks. It wasn't too fast. I felt this had a late 90s, early 2000s style to it. And of course, that was purposely made that way. Prazak mentioned something about Jimmy. I've been saying, where's the tan? Where's the haircut? I'm not going to ask for it, but where's the chiseled chest? Matt is selling on the apron, getting the fans involved, acting emotionally invested in the match. We had delete chants from the crowd as Cardona and Jimmy eat turnbuckle. Hardy is looking for something under the ring. He's bringing in ladders. That's with an S. He's got two coming in. Jimmy and Cardona low blow on Matt with a ladder. Jimmy gets a nasty Hardy side effect onto the ladder. Then the ladder is teeter-tottered into his face, which is a nasty, nasty move, which first happened to Mercury. Joey. Yep. Yeah, God, man. I'm really surprised they even tried to do that. That was pretty chancy because even if his arm is there when that thing came up, he could have cracked his fucking elbow. A lot of that said dangerous, but
they're professionals. I winced at that spot. Like I saw the way it was set up. I'm like, oh God, don't do this. Not have a Mercury situation here. But I was like, then I this is gonna be bad. I was like, oh, it's Jimmy, fuck him, give him the Mercury treatment. Fuck him as a
He can take it. It's Jimmy.
Yeah. I'm awful,
so Matt hits his twist of fate. Joey with a Jeff Hardy swanton bomb looked really good. SDL has been a problem interfering many times in the match. Out comes Megan Bain with a chair. She's chasing SDL around the ring until Cardona hits her with the chair and Megan is down. And the camera was right behind Megan when that chair shot hit her. So it looked nasty when she went down. Janela chases SDL off and through the curtains. He says, bitch, and then he goes back to the ring. I thought that was kind of colorful. Jimmy goes for the radio silence and collapses a chair. Hardy delivers a DDT on him. Cardona takes out Hardy and Janela hits Cardona with an uppercut. Everyone is down, and that's when fans started to go ahead and cheer and come to their feet, knowing that this is a pretty damn good match. Jimmy and Cardona sandwich between the ladders. They both collapse. Matt and Joey grab tables and throw them in the ring. Ladders are propped up with a table set between them. Jimmy and Cardona are laid out on the tables. Joey and Hardy climb up and they jump off and put both men through the tables. Joey and Hardy look like they collided. This is awesome chants come out of it. Jimmy and Cardona hit double spears through the doors. Ringside help is working hard to clear the damage. Another ladder gets set up. Cardona and Jimmy are trying to make the pin. Joey is on the top rope and rides it. to fall on top of both of them to break it up. God damn, that was hard to say. Joey's pulling glass tubes from under the ring. Cardona is begging him not to hit him with them. Jimmy makes the save and accidentally gets hit by Cardona. Joey hits a Canadian Destroyer on Jimmy through 2 tables on the outside. And it's down to Hardy and Cardona. We have delete chance as Hardy pops Cardona with a light tube bundle. We have a twist of fate for 3. Our winner here, Joey Janela and Matt Hardy. The fans immediately run up and pound the mat. It was a good match. I felt it was a decent pace. Each Impact had time for everyone to react to it. It was a Matt Hardy style match, and I think they did a damn good job. What are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, I think once again with the circumstance of with no Nick Gage, I actually was kind of hoping and praying that the surprise partner, like maybe they would have a surprise partner, and maybe it would have been Jeff that came out instead of Joey. I thought that would have been a really cool moment, but whatever. Joey fit in perfectly. Joey Hardy was a nice little third Hardy for the night. Yeah, I think he did a great job of, like you said, filling in for Jeff there. Matt looked good here. He once again looks in good shape. Seeing Matt Hardy use light tubes was shocking to me, but that was very cool to see. And yeah, another fun match that was very storyline driven. But I think the action, as you said, they gave it perfect time to let the fans soak it in and then react to it, and that which kind of furthers the match along. And for Matt Hardy, at this time in his career it's kind of perfect. I didn't even notice, as you said, the quick tag rolls. Like, that's a good way to help save Matt Hardy too. Joey being hurt as bad as he is, like, it's still crazy seeing him performing after what he went through the previous night. So that's why I didn't think Joey was going to be the partner. I thought it would have been Jeff. But yeah, this was a good match, fun match to end the night. Hopefully Matt Hardy and Cardona could do some more stuff in GCW. And I thought it was a nice way to end Homecoming night 2 to send the fans home on a good weekend. I once again, just kind of like the Drew Parker, I kind of just feel like knowing that Nick Gage wasn't there and being in this match, and what cool things with him and Cardona and Hardy could have told with their story that they had going on there. I think that kind of dampened a little bit of the mood for me for that match, but I think the competitors definitely went out of their way to give the fans a good match that they would have expected, like if Nick Gage was there. And I'm glad the fans reacted and enjoyed the match as much as they did, because and for me, I was a little down on it, but overall, like, I'm glad the live crowd ate it up, and that was awesome.
Reed, Harris, Cooper, SDL just loves everyone. PCO, Mance, Charlie Evans. That's about the truth. Great one. Matt Hardy using a light tube and then bumping.
Yeah,
that was badass.
Yeah.
DJ Luda, I got hit a piece by the light tube that Hardy used on Cardona. That was fucking awesome. Reed coming in here October 1st. Matt and Matt fight again in TNA soon. And then DJ Luda saying what I wanted to say. Part of me thought Jeff Hardy was going to make a surprise run in.
I didn't even think about like a surprise run in during the match. That would have been even satisfactory for me to get Jeff Hardy in there to kind of make that big splash for GCW on Homecoming that was made them so popular 3 years ago with Cardona and Gage. I just feel for me like we didn't get one of those kind of moments or those nights. Like it felt like a good Homecoming show. I think maybe I got my hopes up for a little bit more, but also with all the other changes that had to happen and everything. I think that's kind of what dampened it for me, but like I said, for the fans to react, that got me back into it, and that was a good 2-day weekend.
I'm used to thinking 10. Yeah, he is. I'm in Vegas and I'm not thinking about betting. Speaking of which, sports football's coming around. Looking forward to that. We won't get into that one right there, but I'm
about to say I found a cool little like new bets that they're doing. They're doing like what's called mythical matchups, where like, let's say it's the Browns versus the Falcons. Like, they're not playing week 1, but you could bet that up there they'll have Browns versus Falcons, and you could bet who's going to score more points that weekend in their matchups. And like the point spread it's kind of crazy. Like, you're betting on the team that's not playing against their team. It was actually pretty cool. I saw that today.
Like fantasy football.
As a new way of betting, I would want to try it out. So I'll have to look it out there, or keep a lookout for it.
I'm going to just go ahead and put it here too. DJ Luda, I'm going to agree. Night 1 was my favorite of the two by far. I felt like the crowd was hotter. I felt like it was fuller venue. Everybody was in their seats when the show started, so it also gave it a better visual. I don't know. I just felt like the excitement on night one was just so thick, and well, it's hard to top that on night two. Also, a lot of people, like I said, with hangovers night two, and there wasn't a midnight show before night one, so how excited are you going to be after all that drinking and smoking, and then you don't get to bed till 4 a.m. and then the next show is 2, 3, 4 the next day, doors open, and you've barely gotten 7 hours of sleep. So it is what it is. So I think overall there's been some quality homecomings. I don't know where this one lands on it. I don't think this is the best one that's ever happened, but this was definitely a quality homecoming. I was really happy to see some bigger stars from WWE and TNA make it over here. I think that GCW's worked, the performers and the owner have worked hard to get a proper amount of the right kind of attention. And I think that over time, GCW may have sat there and went, okay, who do we want to, no, what do we want to show as our best foot forward? And instead of being the meme joke or this or that, I feel like there are some steps here to be taken more seriously. And I hope that continues. I also like that it looks like TNA is playing ball with quite a few different companies. And I think that's the way it should be, as long as the performers can have an understanding between both of them that they can work properly, which they could give a shit less what company they're working for half the time, as long as they're getting their paycheck. So, hey, right here, Frank said this is stronger than the Cardona wedding homecoming. What's your thoughts on that, Brant?
That's what I was just looking up. That was 2 years ago. That wasn't last year, was it?
I think it was 2. That's when Maki sang a song to us. That's one of my favorite memories.
Well, the night one, they had Maki Death Kill versus Deathmatch Royalty last year. That's what I was like on the card. I think there was definitely more in storyline investment this year than like last year, definitely for sure. But last year seemed like a lot of just like marquee matchups and like cool like matchups, but nothing really that I'm trying to remember and looking at the card, like nothing was really kind of big. Even like Masha versus Blake for the world title on night 2 or night 1 was like halfway through the card. Like it was not even the main event, it was halfway through the card. So that just showed you the amount of investment that they had going for the title match at that time. So I'm more happy this year than I was last year.
So something that makes me kind of pause for a second, and this may be one of our last things to talk about because it is getting later here, especially for you. With the Hammerstein situation, the Hammerstein, I think it says, right?
Yes.
I'm going to fuck this up my whole life. With the Hammerstein situation, I don't really see them calling a shot on that, or maybe even pushing back the original date they have until they have Nick Gage back, if and when he comes back. It would be so crazy to have a GCW Hammerstein show without Nick Gage being there.
But I'm going to push back on that one. You can't get ultraviolet. Okay. What's the point of having, like, other than just to have the king there to have the pop?
Right.
It's not like he can have his normal style match that we're used to seeing from him. So I don't know. I would like to see them. Yeah, I would kind of like to see them a little. As you said, I'm kind of glad that it doesn't feel like Impact's going to have as much hands-on with if they do have the talent showing up as much as AEW did for Hammerstein part 2. But I'm just, as you said, I'm just happy that Impact's fucking working with everybody. They're sending people everywhere, and it's been awesome to see. And that's what the wrestling world wants to see, a lot more of that. And every other company is doing it except one maybe right now. But they're even starting to open up, and we're starting to see a lot of cool stuff too. So I'm excited for what the partnership with Impact could be, and what it's been to get Jordan Grace on our show, to get Speedball as the X Division champion wrestling still on GCW with risk and injury as a champion. That's just cool for them to let us do that. And I'm excited for that partnership as well. I mean, if they're working together with WWE too, and that's where GCW, Brett's working with kind of both of them with Bloodsport and getting Impact Wrestling talent to work shows. I love that crossover.
It's just, I feel like owners and fans are the only ones that really care about the company name, and wrestlers are more than happy to just get good pay and work wherever, is comfortable for them. So I would like to see it more, and hopefully that happens.
You gotta think that'd be exciting for these wrestlers too. It's like, hold up, I get to go to NXT and do matchups with these people that I never worked with. Like, just the thought of like, working with new people and new environments and new
and
fans
real catering
and stuff.
You know.
But I do like it with everything that's kind of going on right now.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. In retrospect, I'm happy with everything. I didn't expect fireworks to go, flying out of everyone's ass, but it really was a good show. They stacked a lot of stuff in it. I still would like to see the UV championship come home, which looks like it's going to eventually. I would have loved to have seen a defense or two at GCW. This is what put GCW on the map. To not have a championship is kind of odd, but to have the matches we had, I felt was fair. So, I mean, they did what they did with the best that they had for sure. The only thing I'm looking at that I mentioned, old school scrambles, I would like to see some more lucha wrestling back in our scrambles for sure, because I went back and watched Hammerstein and a couple other shows, and I'd realized we used to have some killer high flyers and flippers on our show. And I'd realized part of and it's funny, he said fireworks down there, Reed, but part of the fireworks of GCW was to watch those style of wrestlers. So I'm hoping to see more of those back, because I feel like more lucha added to all the name value and bigger wrestlers that we have now, I think might fully put us in a position to be able to have an offering of everything available. And I think Gringo Loco does a good job of bringing the lucha to us, but it's really the same three guys sometimes fighting whomever. And I'd like to see what's going on there with visa situation, because I know that's what stopped lucha before. So, yeah, see, a lot of those luchas and cruiserweights got canceled. So that's the other difficult thing about that. So anyway, I won't go too far into that just because, but do you want me to go over the only upcoming show coming up this weekend here?
Sounds good.
All right, so let's run through it real quick. This will be Saturday, August 31st, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. GCW's Live Fast, Die Young from Talia Hall in Chicago, Illinois. Right now, the matches that are announced are Miyu Yamashita versus Megan Bayne, Mustafa Ali versus Sydney Akeem. That's a banger. Brooke Havoc versus Kylie Ray. Blake Christian versus Zilla Fatu, another one. The GCW Tag Team Championship, Violence is Forever versus Mother Father, which is Sheik and Effie. And then our last match announced for right now, the GCW World Championship, Mance Warner versus one of my favorites to always challenge for a championship, Gringo Loco.
That's another one I'd love to see, like a little storyline built to this match instead of it just being a one-off. Like that's one of those names we were always talking about, like that deserves gold and gets a shot at gold. I think Gringo, I want to see Gringo come out like how he did with Psycho Clown, just come out bloody, ready to just go to war, because this is his chance. I don't think he's gotten an opportunity for the GCW World title, to be honest with you.
Wow. Yeah.
I want to see a different version of Gringo.
I wonder if that's coming eventually. I'd like to see a new version of Gringo come around, because we know what to expect. It'd be cool for him to switch it up somewhere somehow. The Miyu Yamashita, we're seeing her a lot more in GCW too. So I wonder if they got her for like a set of dates also agreed upon ahead of time. Mustafa Ali versus Sydney Akeem is going to be a fucking banger. Flat out. That's going to probably be the match of the night.
And I think this is another good litmus test for Sydney to see, like, hey, like now that you've done like your kind of singles matches against the Jack Cartwheels, the Myron Reeds, some of the very talented indie, now you're stepping right back up to somebody coming from the big leagues and getting, now you're like, here's your time to show what you've learned and how much you have improved over these last couple months.
My, oh my.
Oh, really? I didn't realize Gringo versus Blake.
Yeah, and the other thing is, and Great One's right there, he has challenged a couple of times. It's just what I'm saying comes from a conversation Brant and I had a long time ago where we felt like more regulars should have more championship thoughts. Shots at the belt. So, we go to a town and then you give, Ricky Rocket Jr. a shot when, Gringo Loco's been busting ass for who knows how many dates. Make sure he gets a shot too. So,
and this is what I've asked for. Like I asked for, hey, whatever this new champion is, like especially if it's Mance Warner, let him go and fight through all the like I've said I wanted all these originals and regulars from GCW to challenge for the belt, and I think that's what we're going to probably start getting with Gringo. And I like how he's like saying, like, no more of this local shit. Like we're getting the big dogs are here, and I'm going to be defending it against the big dogs. So I really do, yeah. Like you mentioned that earlier, Blake, or Frank. That's what I was kind of mentioning. How Blake's run was just a bunch of local legends. Like I think that's where Mance's first title defense against Gringo. I'm in. This is awesome. Ricky Rocket Jr.
Well, yeah, that's the 80s in me. Ricky Rocket is the drummer from Poison.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't even think about that until I put it together. So yeah, Ricky Rocket Jr. So I don't know, it's a good wrestling name.
My big takeaway from this weekend was, okay, now that Mance is our definitive champion, what he has been doing as a co-champion, I've loved and enjoyed. And I'm hoping and excited for this to kind of continue. And like I said, hopefully we get these names that deserve title shots, world title shots, start getting the title shots. But like I said, like even like if it's a 2-week buildup, 3-week buildup to this Gringo, like tease it a little bit to get me into it, not just announce it. Like, I don't know. Like I think in a matter of a week or 2 or 3, whatever, you got the 2 talents that are going for the title, just start teasing something in those little times. It doesn't have to be a 6-7 month fucking drama like WWE. Like it could just be a 2-3 minute or 3 show indie run. Boom, you got a nice little feud. Go on to the next one. But now I think that fans' investment into this world title match will be a lot more into it than what we are going to go into. Like I'm excited for this match. There's no shot in hell Gringo's going to win, but unfortunately, like booking wise, unless that's what I really asked for. I said like now I want to see it kind of just. Let's give it to Gringo. Let's give it to Joey. Let's give it to Manders. Let's give it to all these people. Like that's kind of what I said. So I don't think that's going to happen after what has been transpiring with that belt, but it would be a cool little shock and surprise for Gringo to pull off the upset. But I want to see more even short stories for these title matches to get a little bit more investment from the fans.
And Brett was very, very clear that this is the wrestling entertainment era. So that's what we're going to see more of. And I like the idea. I feel like this is a climb in the right direction. Some professionalism would never hurt anyone. I believe that GCW should have a good crack at trying to do what they can to set up their building blocks appropriately. So we'll see what happened there. There's a couple things still in flux. Like I said, we have the situation with Nick, which we don't know. I have tried to ask questions online. Those don't get fully answered. That says a lot sometimes. So we'll see what happens. There's a couple things up in the air. What I do know is that we have a lot of stars at GCW right now, and the match quality has really went up quite a bit. So we'll see what happens from there, but fingers crossed. We just what do you think?
And if the King's gone now, somebody needs to step up for the time being, not gone, but for the time being, like this is someone's time to step up. And I think Cardona was the one who said it best. Mance has been the one that stepped up to restore that old GCW feeling it for fans like me. And I think other fans have gotten that same feeling too. So I'm really glad that Mance is stepping up and filling that Nick Gage role, because someone's going to have to do it someday here. And Mance Warner in the current age, and I think he shows that he could continue to build the company in the future and help raise it to new heights.
So what's funny about him is, we've talked, if he stops fucking with the crowd, he's going to end up going stone cold and people will love him just because he has an attitude. So as long as he keeps fucking with that crowd, he's going to be good. Do you think there's a face change in a year or so from now coming?
I hope so. And I hope it's to Cardona. Like kind of as like not saying Cardona is going to be the general manager there, but to have that boss versus outlaw kind of thing. Like I could see Vince McMahon and Stone Cold being Cardona and Mance Warner kind of thing, but Mance obviously with a little bit more ability to defend himself other than Vince did. But he could throw everybody at Deathmatch Royalty at Mance Warner to kind of combat that and fill time until Matt Cardona is ready to face him.
Well, this is a chicken or egg kind of thing here, like which one came first, but which one did come first? Matt Justice leaving and then the split, or was it the split and then Matt Justice left because we knew Mance was going to go singles? You see what I'm saying?
I thought they split before Justice left.
That's what I was wondering.
I mean after. I'm sorry, after.
Yeah. So that's why I'm wondering, did they move in on all this because there was only 2 members of SGC left? Or was this planned from the get-go? And, so I've always wondered about that one. But I will tell you what, Effie and Mance were planning what they did for a very long time. So chances are there was a move that was going to happen regardless either way. And I still feel that everybody came out of that better. I think Manders came out better. I think Mance came out better. I still think they can get together down the road and make a super fucking team. But yeah. And Reed said right here, they're still together in Revolver. So I don't know. I like it. I like the idea. I always want to see a happy ending. So hopefully we'll see everybody get together and for who knows what reason and hand out some ass whoopings.
Yeah.
So what do you say? We did it?
Yes, we did it.
We definitely
tired and I got to go to work here. Yeah, we did it though. 2 shows and covered it. Sorry, it was covered it pretty good there. We did it in good time. I thought it could have been a lot longer too.
It could have. I'm telling everybody now, we could have went easily 45 minutes or an hour longer. I'm proud of it, so I'll just say it. You guys got to hear the longest set of notes I'd ever had on any broadcast ever. That was 8,811 words that was just went through. So I just want to tell everybody thank you. Everybody's busy. You're back at school. I'm literally back at school. Mine started yesterday. I've got 4 or 5 classes right now. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that before it got too busy, I sat down and he and I just put together some good notes and gave Homecoming the respect that it really commands. So
like you said, an old school show here, 3.5 hours, detailed deathmatch notes, and
we did on to people
at booking. That's old school there.
That's right. Yeah, each of us lose our shit at booking at one time or another. But yeah, it's all a step in the right direction. I'm happy to see what GCW is doing, and hopefully it continues. I like vision. Anybody that has vision or a goal, I like to see that. Thank you to Frank, Reed, DJ Luda, great one. Reed, holy crap, there were a lot of people in here at one time or another. Yes. Let's see. Did we have any wrestlers stop in here? Well, they didn't. They must have. Wrestlers stopped in. They just didn't text tonight. Rose, thanks for coming in. Dezo, I saw you were here. Anyway, everybody, Darren Walker, holy mackerel. There was a lot that came through here. Thank you so much to everyone who came in to chat. We try to do everything to make sure you are part of the conversation as much as possible. That's what this show is about. I don't know. Thank you for tuning in. It's there's a couple hundred of us in here right now. It's 2:20 on the East Coast. Thank you so much. Reed can't sleep. Sorry, Reed. But yeah, I think that's absolutely everything that I wanted to share. Was there anything else? We did it?
Nah, I am done. I'm spent.
We fucking did it.
I've said everything I need to say. Other than once again, a thank you to Frank, Reed, great one, Screwball, everyone that hopped on when I wasn't able to the last 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for all that love. Like even those couple comments at the beginning, I was not expecting that. So definitely appreciate that. It makes me feel wanted here, and I do appreciate that. That was kind of cool. But thank you all for coming in and talking with John. Like I said, I want to hop on another one of those too and ask some of you guys some more questions and hear some of your guys' great thoughts. Like you guys had great conversations those last 2 weeks. Like I listened to it, like I was like, whoa, like that's some shit I never even thought about, and I love
exactly
that kind of thinking. Like, and like yes, there were a lot of people, a lot of thoughts, but I loved it all. I love the discussions there, and yeah, those fan forums will definitely be like a thing here on this channel too. Whenever there's times that we don't have a show, maybe we don't have a guest, we'll keep on doing that. I very much enjoyed watching that and participating in the couple that I have too. Those are always fun.
Without them, I would have been dead alone. And because a lot of them were able to go, you know what? Of course, we'll come on the show, give our opinion. I couldn't be more thankful for each of them. Everyone that came on had something extremely important to say. Each one of them had a unique thing to say that we haven't thought of that I loved. I loved hearing the different dimensions of how people were putting together booking and what they saw that we didn't see. And that voice of GCW fans that we don't cover, I love to see others cover it. And that's why I said the other day on Twitter, if you feel that whatever's being said here is not representative of yours, the next time we have a fan forum or two, I'll throw your name in there. We'll get you on the show so that you can talk and say what you need to say, because I think everybody deserves a voice here. And if we're lucky enough and fortunate enough to have this platform to talk with the fans about fan stuff, then this is what it's all about. So we're trying to do things that we felt every podcast should do. And we're just going to try to do everything we can to keep getting better. DJ Luda, hit me on Twitter at Game Changer Week. So just take out the LY. Game Changer Week on Twitter. And I'm going to throw your name in the hat there, and we'll get you in rotation. By all means, I'd love to get you back on here. So, or not back, but get you on here. So, yeah, DMs are open. Anybody needs to get a hold of me. And like I said, anything comes up where we need some people to sit down and talk, by all means, I'm going to be getting a hold of people in the order that they have. If you're missed a show or two, please have absolutely no personal feelings for it. We're just making sure that the ones who didn't get on also get their chance. That's all. I think we've said more than enough, and I think we're good to go, my friend. I think I'm rattling because I'm tired. So
yeah, it's all good. Yes, thank you all again. Thank you all for tonight. That was a fun. We had a nice big chat, a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of good discussions. Yeah, another successful show here. All right, we ready?
Let's do it, man. This is so nice to have it back to normal. Here we go. Here we go.
Long.
Oh shit! Here we go again. Live.
Oh, there we go.
I said it twice. GCW. Good night, guys.
Thank you, everyone.